lead us off with a bitch-ass clap.
What was that first clap? It's like a golf clap, but like with force.
Yeah,
We can't start off like that.
pitiful.
Pitiful.
This is already off to a horrible.
I apologize. Horrible start. You know what? Let's just do
Scrap
it tomorrow.
it. Scrap it.
Let's just get back to the drawing board.
Yeah. You know, let's just talk about something else.
Yeah.
Change your podcast completely. Just
Right.
That's not
MMA.
impactful enough. For
We now talk about football. Brandon, we need you to learn a lot about football.
Go study it
Yeah, go
on
study.
my phones. Watch video.
Oh, man. All right. Obviously, MMA Fools, we're back. We could probably just jump right into it,
Yeah,
huh?
big card to talk about.
Nice.
Yeah, big card. UFC 253.
Did you watch the prelims?
Adesanya versus
I did.
Costa.
Prelims were
I
good
did not.
too.
I did not. I was at Valley Wine Cellar for the prelims, having a beverage. But it was a good night of fights.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, the main event might have been a little disappointing. We'll get to that, but other than that,
I mean,
it was a good night of fights.
It was just the main event wasn't really disappointing. It just went.
it wasn't the fight it could have been, but as far as like watching a brilliant performance.
It was a better fight for Izzy than we thought it was gonna.
Yeah.
It was a better fight. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it was better. Izzy did that into
Right.
a war with Costa.
Yeah,
if he's
for
gonna
Izzy,
win,
yeah.
that's how you want to win.
It's
against
a highlight
anybody.
win.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. This fight was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, Hakeem
That would do.
Dawodu.
Gawadu.
And go ahead. What's this guy's name?
Oh, I wasn't
Zabara
even-
Tukagov.
That's not fair.
Tukagov. Yeah. I actually hate. I don't like how this guy looks in person. I don't like anything about this guy.
Yeah, I didn't really like. I mean, Hakeem. First of all, let's go ahead. It was a decision in the third round.
A split decision.
Yeah, split decision.
Very close fight, actually.
Yeah.
Besides the third round, but we'll get to that.
Hakeem did look good,
Yeah.
but I didn't really like how Hakeem acted towards the end of the fight and after the fight.
I like that.
Well,
I thought it was a little
I
too
thought he
much.
was kind of egged into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think.
Dickhead was running away from him.
Well, yeah. Well, let's break down the first two rounds were close, very
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
rounds. I actually gave the first round to Dawadu. I feel like he got the better of the striking. I feel like Tukagov didn't really do much in the first half of the round.
Yeah.
It just
round
used-
2 though, you could maybe have went for Tuka.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought Tukagov
Yeah.
took 2.
Yeah,
Dawadu took 1.
I think Tuka or whatever felt like he had those 2 rounds, and the third round was trying to
Coast it, dude.
coast it. But it became to the point where he's literally
He's
like running backwards. Like,
Mhm.
And
man.
laughing, too.
yeah,
And, like-
and being a dickhead about it.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. And he's the dude that jumped in the cage and punched Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he missed weight by 4 pounds.
Yeah, like, dude, fuck
It's
you.
just all bad. stuff,
Yeah, just
bro.
nothing good.
Yeah, it's like how do you miss weight by 4 pounds and have that performance and like Khabib's in your corner? Like, what kind of
Yeah.
camp is that? Like, that's a pitiful performance.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
you would think a guy like Khabib would like, dude, you fucking pulled your foot off the throttle like that in the third round. Like, what are you doing?
And did make weight.
Well,
Yeah.
Khabib's missed weight
Get outta
too,
here.
but you think he'd shore up his camp? and,
Yeah,
like,
but Khabib has also died trying to make
Right.
weight.
I feel like he
You know
just
what I mean?
his diet.
I don't
was
feel like
shitty
that's a
back then.
lack of dedication on his part. I feel like,
No.
I mean, it just was something messed
I
up.
think he's been to the hospital twice
Yeah.
for weight cut
Right.
issues, so he gives it everything he can to make it.
I think he's walks around smaller now. He just doesn't balloon up between
Yeah.
camps and like it just he has a better understanding of his body and his weight management.
Yeah,
between
I agree.
fights.
But then the third round, it turned into Hakeem, mean Hakeem, just
Running at like
running at him and yelling at him like, "Come on, let's fucking go!"
and
Mean is a legit name for him. That dude does not smile. Like, he
No.
just doesn't. His facial
Kinda like him.
expression doesn't change.
I should say actually, during the fight, I didn't mind that. After the fight, it seemed just a little over the top to me.
Well, this you gotta think that too. This dude, for a fighter who puts you put your all into your camp and you cut weight and that dude comes in and misses weight. I don't understand that disrespect because I don't fight.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta think about.
It did be rutted and smiling.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Like that's absurd, man. You should have waited there with a lot of respect.
Well, and then like Adesanya was saying, this after the fight, his fight, that he saw Tukagov, like he had an hour and a half or whatever to cut more weight and just didn't.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
saying that he
He just gave up and
was
like
whatever,
takes
we'll
a fine.
take my money, whatever.
Yeah, and like that's
Was
disrespectful.
that who he was referring to when he said they're gangsters outside? of
Yeah.
here? What's he get like? What are you doing, dude? You're ratting people out? Like, are they really like gangsters? Or what?
Right.
Well,
Like,
You don't do that.
don't do that. Leave that alone.
Right.
Just
Don't
bitch,
want
Don't fuck with
Adesanya
that.
to
just
end
bitch about the weight the weight
Right.
cut
We
issue.
don't want Adesanya to never make it out of Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but I do like what Stylebender was saying about
Taking
they should
the
lose
money.
more money.
Yeah,
They-
at least 50%.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking 90. I was thinking like 50, 60%.
Well, and also his teammate Shane Young got knocked out by somebody who missed weight too by a few pounds earlier in the night. So I feel like he's more fired up about his teammate that lost because they asked him about in the post fight press conference that hey, that doesn't even count because you cheated. And like, I think it counts. I don't think it doesn't count, but I can see where
it
you can be
means
coming
something
from.
for sure.
Right.
Like, I mean, that weight variance ain't that big a deal.
And then he mentioned Romero knocking out Luke Rockhold and getting a title shot off of a fight he missed weight for.
Yeah,
That
so
doesn't
obviously
seem right.
it means something
Right.
though.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
means
like,
something.
whether we think it should count or not, it gets thrown into the
Yeah,
like.
I think
what
it means
are we
something.
doing?
I don't think it should get you a title shot.
No, you
It
should have
be
to
like,
fight
you're not
again.
professional enough to make weight, so how do I trust
How
you
do I
to make
trust you
weight
to
for a
make weight
title
for
fight?
the title?
I feel like some divisions are more stringent on like who they can push. So if you have somebody high up like that and you miss weight, you got to push them because they're fucking right there and there's other options.
Right.
Romero's right there. He knocked out Luke Rockhold. You can't not push him now. But also, it's like, well, what do you do when he misses weight?
But now we say,
Your
yeah.
hands are tied.
But now we say, yeah. Who doesn't knock out Luke Rockhold?
Well, it's fucking crazy because like Luke Rockhold has a terrible chin and like poor defense, but like his losses look pretty okay now. Like he lost it.
Blackowitz. I just
Yeah.
like, dude, what? I remember that fight, and I'm like, Blackowitz is gonna knock him out, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I knew. This guy was, you know what I mean? I knew Blackowitz. Was,
It just like he lost Romero and Yan, and that's not bad losses really. You know,
Yeah.
like in retrospect, now that Yan's the champion and Romero who he is, like okay,
Right.
He might
yeah,
be,
you would think he was probably gonna fold.
No, Bisbing.
No, well, not, but
the Bisping the loss is the worst one.
Yeah.
Oh, who's the other dickhead?
Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
You like looking at those two now, and based on like, okay, his losses aren't that bad.
Weidman's
You'd think
getting
he'd
beat by.
Weidman up pretty bad.
Yeah,
Rockhold.
and
Yeah.
I feel like Rockhold doesn't. I mean, Weidman doesn't have the hands he has to take advantage of Luke's bad chin and bad defense. He punches in slow motion. Like they both have poor boxing, but I feel like Luke has better grappling now. I feel like Weidman's gas tank isn't as good as it used to be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, like if he gets taken down by Luke again, he's gonna get fucked up because Luke still has a pretty good BJJ and top game. So.
That last Weidman fight, he didn't even look like himself at all.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, he looks like he couldn't even beat anyone else, and like, you know, that's like the worst guy in the top 15 probably. Amari Akhmedov. Like if you can't beat that guy impressively, there's no fucking
I
way.
can't believe this ended up being split decision though.
I feel like it's pretty close to beat.
it was close, but I don't see how after this dude runs away for the entire third round.
Yeah,
like,
you should automatically
Right.
lose the fight.
Yeah.
I feel like if you run in the
You're
last
running.
yeah, like you
that
should.
should cost you
you're
points.
forfeiting.
They should have took a point for timidity. You
Yeah.
can't be timid in a fight because that's actually in Pride they used to do that. If you were timid in a fight, they'd take a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I don't know if that's in the UFC or not, though.
No.
I feel like it should be somewhere in the judge because like there's a fine line between being
But octagon control is part of it, which he obviously had.
He's
Right.
running backwards.
and like you look at somebody like even like the Connor thing when he was fighting Diaz, how he'd reset and run a little bit. Okay, that's understandable because you got to reset and like that's
yeah, that's
something.
that's different. Yeah.
And like that could be running in some small instances, but it's not as egregious
It's not
as
an
this.
entire round.
Yeah.
No, just
trying
you
to get
just-
away and recollect for a second.
Yeah.
You know,
Lots of
okay,
fighters
come
have
back
done that.
up.
Lots of great fighters have done that.
Right, and that's smart. That's not being
Yeah, Tito Ortiz, he ended up winning the fight, but he literally sprinted away from Vanderlei Silva
Yeah.
back in the day. Like, ran.
Didn't he wrestle him the first few rounds and like just controlled him right? And,
Yeah, I think that's how it went. But there was a point where literally Wanderlei was they were sprinting, and Tito Ortiz was sprinting away, and fucking Vanderlei was chasing him.
So it's a part of the history of the UFC, really.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, good performance by
Lots of great runners.
Dawodu.
yeah. I look forward to seeing him fight again.
Yeah, I feel like he could match up pretty well with a lot of these featherweights, and
Yeah. All right, so next fight.
this fight is pretty boring, but it wasn't bad.
It's the
But
women.
Yeah.
I messaged him like a minute into this. I'm like, I think Eubanks is screwed, dude. Like this
she's
girl's
just not
way
big
bigger.
enough, dude.
But so
And-
it's Vieira versus Eubanks. It was a
Decision.
decision for Vieira.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
pretty clear cut decision. Not
Yeah.
even no controversy there.
The
Yeah.
girl she's so much bigger than her, had much more control, and like was able to pick her apart from the distance.
Yeah, I mean,
She had
you
a
look at the
huge
stats,
reach
it's
on
pretty
her.
clear.
Yeah.
And Eubanks didn't look too terrible.
No,
It
she
just-
actually looked decent.
I actually didn't pay much attention.
I just think
to
she
this
was
fight.
outmatched. Like
envious of you, Dave.
Yeah. I paid-
A lot of energy. I
she
think
was
about that.
outmatched. The girl physically, like the girl's just much bigger and longer, and
Mhm.
I think Eubanks though, like she had a good showing.
She can
for
cut
a
down
loss.
maybe a smaller weight class. She looks
Yeah.
dwarfed in this. Weight
Yeah,
class.
yeah. What's
She
she
was
weigh
that-
right now?
was-
120.
Was she that much smaller?
She just looks smaller. Like her
Yeah.
reach, she couldn't get
Yeah,
inside.
she's quite a bit smaller.
Yeah.
I don't know if she could lose the extra 10. She probably lose the extra 10 pounds. She had some, nothing against her, but she had some some pounds to lose in a cage. She looks
Is
like
she
can cut down.
125?
Yeah, I think she can
So
cut down to.
115. I mean, that's a murderous division, but
I mean,
if you got to go against chicks like this, are just monstrous too, like
Right.
much bigger.
these are all just fodder for Shevchenko.
Yeah.
These are all just people that Shevchenko
Yeah.
is
Really?
gonna steamroll in a few months.
Yeah, that's the problem with all the women's fucking weight
Yeah,
divisions.
you got a
It's
champ
like,
at the top that's like, oh,
except
this
for
is not
except for
beatable.
maybe Wailing.
Yeah, 115 is the more competitive
115's
division.
got, but that's like the top 4.
Right.
Like, you ain't beating
If
them.
the top
Like,
4, yeah.
I mean, even then, I feel like there's a big skill gap between the top 4 and the rest of the division.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ain't getting past those top 4 at 115.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like
Especially 3.
if you compare like somebody like Rose and like Whaley and then Yana, and then there's like Watterson is like the next echelon
Yeah.
of fighters.
it's
You know,
not-
there's like Claudia and Michelle Watterson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
But-
Angela Hill at that?
I feel
115?
yeah. I feel
I
like
think
she's
she
in
can make it. Up
she's in
there,
that
dude.
echelon too, but she has like fucking it just her fights are so close that like she
Yeah.
doesn't do herself any favors by how she fights.
Yeah, honestly, at some point you have to say that, like, okay, you got to start going out here and trying to win some fights.
And win some
we can't
rounds.
be like,
she
we
did.
can't be like, it was close, but we think he'll have
I think
it.
she
Yeah.
could. I think she's got like.
She's
I
got a
think
lot
she'll
of
turn that
potential.
on.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a low fight mileage. I think she's like already 35 or 36, so she's kind of older for the division.
Really?
But she, has low fight miles. She only
Yeah.
has like X amount of fights.
And I think that's more important than age, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Because some people blame, and also her not being a combat sports athlete, her body's probably a lot better, than
Mhm.
somebody who's been wrestling since they're 10. So,
Yeah, for sure.
her knees and shit. So
All right, next fight we have.
it's a banger fight,
this
dude.
was awesome.
Yeah, we have France versus looks like Royval.
Yeah,
It was a second round sub.
Sub.
I believe it was a guillotine.
yeah,
flash
tight.
guillotine, like bang. Gotcha.
Yeah, but man, it was fun. The biggest thing I remember about this fight is at one point
Double
Royval
knockdown.
got fucking rocked and then did a spinning
Spinning back elbow.
spinning back
dude. It
elbow
was
that
Knocked
rocked
nasty.
him, and it was like, holy
But it was like
shit.
on their way down,
right,
and he smacked him with it. Like I
Right.
think he clipped him during that
Yeah.
too.
France knocked him down, and then he slipped again, and then they both went at each other, and he spinning back elbow. So it was a
Yeah.
knockdown
Dude,
by
it was
France. Yeah, but he came back and fucking.
Royval is just like, dude, he doesn't even take time to reset. He just wherever he lands, he attacks you from there. Like,
Right.
oh shit, bounce back. Like
Yeah.
he just doesn't. He doesn't like get. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna take my 2 steps to the left and try to come back at you. He lands on his feet somewhere and just immediately attacks from that position. Like
And his nickname is Raw Dog, and I think maybe that should be Adesanya.
Probably.
dude.
Especially since he beat that's Adesanya's teammate in
Royval-
Kai
Oh,
France.
really?
Yeah, which is funny.
Royval just seems like he'd be such a fucking pain in the ass to fight, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's just a constant
what do they call
attack.
him? Wiry.
Yeah. Well, and I liked actually his performance afterwards. He was like not happy with how much he was hit,
Oh my god.
which is
Yeah.
good. He was like
Yeah.
very, very down on himself for like a good performance. I mean,
well, he
Kai
did get
France
hit a
was
lot.
pretty
I
good.
mean, he
definitely got
there's
rocked.
a few
Yeah.
shots where it was like, oh well, he might be going
I
out.
didn't get hit that much. He dominated this fight pretty good, actually. If you look at
Yeah.
this,
But he took some hard like
yeah,
did take
overhands-
some hard shots,
overhand, like
for
rights.
sure.
But
He'd take 22 of his 22 strikes were significant strikes. So
that's not gonna work against everybody in that division. But I feel like his pace and his skill set could get him up to the top
yeah,
or close
he's
to the
probably
top.
gonna have to
Yeah.
clean it up a little bit.
Because
but-
Davidson's gonna fucking take your head off if you come at
Yeah.
him like that with
Right.
your hands down kicking. It's just
Right.
gonna be bad. But his jiu-jitsu is so good. He kind of reminds me of a better version of like a Diaz brother.
yeah.
With a more variety of attack. The way he
Yeah.
just comes forward with pressure and with that sick BJJ.
yeah, because even though the Diaz brothers boxing for whatever reason is really good, it's weird that it's good.
It's effective, but it's
'Cause-
not very like.
because it's very basic and not powerful, but they just tag you in your face
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day.
I feel like the
Royval was going for some flash subs too. Like he was, like quick. Like I almost got an ankle lock. Almost got, and then boom, he locks up that guillotine at the end. Like
Yeah,
out of nowhere. Like it was going for dude was gonna try to pick him up and slam him. As soon as he picks him up, he just locks it in.
great killer instinct and taking
Yeah.
advantage of small gaps.
yeah,
Really good.
and definitely well rounded. Maybe just needs to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, and Kai France looked pretty good too. His striking looked
Yeah.
pretty good. Just the pace, I don't think he was used. He didn't expect that pace to come on to him,
yeah,
and I feel like he got overwhelmed by that. But he looked pretty okay. They're both fun fighters, I think.
yeah. I would watch either of them fight again for
Yeah.
sure.
It's crazy how flyweight like a year ago was supposed to be folded up, and now these fights
Yeah,
are pretty
these
good.
Guys are like
It's,
it's
getting entertaining. Do you think maybe we weren't paying attention to him enough because Mighty Mouse was at the top and we just kind of knew?
Yeah, I mean, like
I think there's some fresh guys though. Like Royval, those guys weren't really around 2 years ago.
well,
Right.
you look at the people that were back back then, and like they were just more boring. They had people like
Yeah.
John Moraga and all these nameless random white dudes.
But
Like
Henry
like,
Cejudo, Dodson was kind of entertaining back in the day.
Yeah, but
that's
it's
about as good as it got.
and like it was just like very I
Uncle
don't know.
Creepy.
People that weren't that excellent in certain areas, like you just had general like MMA fighters who weren't like Raval seemed like he's special, like you know, like, and even like Kai Kara France, his striking looked pretty special compared to somebody like a John Moraga who just did everything okay. Or
I
even,
could see either of these guys in title fights.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
future.
we also have who's that Russian guy in that weight division now too? Like Arkolov. It's like
The one
Arkolov.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
the
know
one
what
that
you're
he's got crazy like cardio.
talking about. Is it? No, that's the Vishli or whatever.
Diswali.
Yeah, he fights 135, I believe.
Oh, I thought it was 125.
Can you go to the rankings and see
Yeah,
that?
no,
fighter
you're
fighters?
right. It is 135.
What are we looking
Maybe,
at?
yeah, he fought Dotson at 135.
Yeah, 130. Yeah,
Last month,
that's the reason I thought it was 125 though, because of Dodson.
What's going on here? We're supposed to be looking at bantamweight.
Flyweight.
Flyweight. That's
yeah.
right, flyweight.
But and then especially Cody Garbrandt in the division looks a lot better now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of exciting fights. And depending on if...
Dude, I'd like to see, we'll get this later, but Royval versus, like, fucking... Askarov. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
he beat the shit out of Pantawa.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't really know Brandon Moreno.
He's pretty good, too. He's sort of like Royval, where he's, like, very crafty and, like, slick.
Yeah.
Slick, he also beat Kai Kara France, and then he beat Formiga, who's... I feel like Formiga's been around for fucking ever, dude.
Yeah.
But Alex Perez, I think he TKO'd Formiga with calf kicks, so that's pretty cool.
All right, we'll get there, though.
Yeah.
And so now the next fight, one of the two fights we were extremely excited for. I'm not sure which one I was more hyped for, but Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. The first time in 8-9 years we were going to have a champion in light heavyweight besides Daniel Cormier or John Jones?
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty stagnant up the top.
It's kind of nice to see. I'm glad, and I'm happy for my man, Jan.
Yeah, we should say Jan Blachowicz, he won by KO in the second round.
Yeah.
And he pretty much dominated the fight. Yeah. Not pretty much, he did.
Yeah, he didn't really let Reyes in the fight at all.
Yeah.
His combinations kept him on his back foot. I think Reyes had a hard time. Reyes, I feel like he just was afraid of the power, so he didn't really want to counter as much as he could have.
I mean, that's why I picked Jan. Everybody underestimates that power, and like I've just watched him KO dudes like every time, and
he's got serious power. He's actually got decent submissions as well.
I just felt like
I didn't realize so I watched the highlights.
wasn't getting recognized, and he was just laying dudes out, and I'm like, guys, like are really underestimating this. Dude. Everybody was, I thought. I mean, Reyes obviously has a lot of hype because of the performance against Jones, but as we know, Jones doesn't present any kind of.
Well, but the thing is, what surprised me, I think, is going into the fight, I think we all agreed that Reyes was the better technical striker. Yeah. But it didn't look that way once they were in the cage. It looked like Jan was the better technical striker.
I don't recall Jan having such, lightning fast kicks like that. Like, I mean, a few, but that was
they were like a combination too.
Fast and powerful.
Yeah. The only thing that had me worried about Jan was I remember his performance against Jacare 2 fights ago, and he looked pretty flat there. So I feel like he could, like, there's instances where he doesn't look as good as he could be. So, like, you just don't know. Whenever you have a performance that recent, that flat, like, he went to a split decision with Jacare. And, like, you should, in my head, Jacare should be knocked out by somebody like Jan if he comes up. Yeah. He's 40 years old.
You would think.
So, like, you just, you try to gauge performances. He looked
but Jacare's a tough son of a bitch.
He is, and it's hard to knock out.
It's just been a bad night for.
And then Corey's not a great striker either. He knocked out Corey, so it's like, well, that's a good knockout, but Corey's not a great striker. And I feel like Reyes was a higher category than that. But I feel like Jan's...
But he also knocked out Luke Rockhold.
Thiago Santos also knocked Jan out.
Yeah.
So I feel like Jan just got better. He got better,
more
precise.
He said the fight with Thiago made him a better fighter. Like, he said he learned a lot from that fight.
And that's why people were saying, like, well, is Thiago the uncrowned champion since, he knocked out Jan? I'm like, no, because they're different fighters. We don't know how Thiago's going to look after a double fucking leg surgery.
I mean, I believe he is that I think he's the eventual light heavyweight champion.
Right.
I think there's a good chance as long as he comes back looking like he did. The other thing we got to think about is Jan looks massive comparatively to Dominic Reyes. And also
power-wise, he looks huge.
And also, Thiago Santos fought at 185, so he might be a good bit bigger than Thiago as well.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, because, like, it's weird, because Santos has been knocked out by lesser and less powerful strikers than Jan. So, like, could Jan knock him out? I mean, if you get knocked out by David Branch, that doesn't mean that you're impenetrable in terms of defense to me.
Right.
It could be a closer fight than last time.
It's weird. It's like John Jones is so, like, this puzzle that you can't figure out. But like a guy like Thiago Santos is just a monster, dude, and like knocking people out, but yet he's obviously able to be beat.
Right.
But like, I mean, right now, like I'd be more scared to fight Thiago Santos than John Jones.
You get a decision by Jones, but you get fucking separated from consciousness from Thiago.
Yeah,
and
without a doubt.
I feel like Jones's potent weapons have been like rounded off. Like he doesn't have that potent weapon anymore. It used to be his ground and pound, but that's been dulled over the years, and like his wrestling has been dulled, so you can't even utilize any of those. His clinch work has been sort of dulled. He doesn't have elbows anymore. It's like he has weak boxing and like leg kicks.
He throws less like crazy shit too. Like
he's not as creative as he used to be.
Well, and that's just
let's get back to this fight though. So Blachowicz looked amazing. Those first two kicks to the ribs,
dude, it was
crazy,
instantly nasty. That red mark, I was like, oh my god, dude, look at that thing.
It looked like he had a map on the side of his ribs.
And he had
like
a poker face.
I wonder if he broke one of his ribs. Like,
I was thinking the same thing, man, because it looked awful.
Yeah,
and he did protect it a decent bit after that. That right arm stayed a little low to keep the elbow. I
messaged him. I was like, dude, Reyes is he's gonna have to drop those hands. Like,
because his body shots
he's gonna get bombed on as soon as he does.
Yeah. And that's what happened. I mean, in every way, Jan looked better than Dominic Reyes.
I noticed that nose, too. It's like the announcers didn't even notice it. I was like, dude, he just broke his nose. Like, instantly when it happened, I saw it. And it took, like, the announcers another couple, like punches before they were like, oh, wow, actually, look at his nose. I was like, yeah, dude, look at his fucking nose.
Yeah.
It's on the side of his face.
Let's be honest here, though. That, like, Dominic Reyes is a better athlete than Jan. He's a fucking A-plus athlete. That's it. So he beats him athletically, but not in a fight.
He looks like an Olympic swimmer.
Yeah.
He does look like an Olympic swimmer. He's got a
Phelps body.
Long torso.
He's like Crash Bandicoot.
He does look like Crash Bandicoot.
Or he reminds me of this aliens.
That's a perfect example.
He reminds me of the aliens in Men in Black that drink the coffee or whatever. Like by the coffee.
He had that long torso.
The
coffee drinking.
They weren't cockroaches, were they?
They were sort of cockroach-like.
They look,
But yeah,
they're long.
It's just like his body's so proportioned weird. Like his arms seem short. Yeah. Like he doesn't have much reach. It's like 77
for how
inches.
long the rest of his torso is.
Dude, Jan throwing those kicks, he looked like quite the athlete last night. Yeah. Like those kicks were.
Well, you have two torsos to aim for. On top of each other.
He looked fucking amazing. He really did. I was really surprised by him.
He's easy to root for too.
He's very easy to root for. He's an awesome guy. I think in his post-fight press conference, he said, "This is just to let everybody know that nice guys can win championships."
Yeah, and I don't think Dom looks like he doesn't look not like a nice guy. He just looks more awkward and hard to root for because he seems very like aloof and like unaware of how he comes across. You know?
He was kind of overly cocky going into this.
I think so too.
Like I'm already the light.
I think
light heavyweight.
But I did think
so well against Jones that I'm clearly the number 2 if Jones isn't here anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm. I feel like that version of Jan could knock out Jones.
Yeah, you know,
because like this.
You said could.
Yeah, like I feel like it's a closer fight than I originally thought that fight would be.
Did you see Jones tweeted like, "Would y'all be annoyed if I went back and grabbed my belt?" Like, yeah, kind of, dude. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? Pick something.
Then you look like you're just afraid of Dominic Reyes rematch.
But it's also who Jan called out.
Yeah.
He said, John Jones, he promised me this fight.
But, like, why? Who else would he call out, though? You know, because, like, that's the biggest fight you can make. And, you know.
Well, he talked a lot about the Thiago fight.
I think if Thiago...
Yeah.
If he balls fucking Glover Teixeira, I think that's a big fucking fight.
But, like, you have... the division looks pretty okay with, like, Ratchik and Yuri Proyaka coming up the division, too.
Yeah.
Look like young, pretty talented guys.
I think there's plenty to do at heavyweight. It's interesting. Like, honestly, let Jones do his heavyweight thing.
Yeah,
maybe later.
Yeah. I just have no interest in Jones, like, squeaking by decisions. I want to see either he beat somebody.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I want to see the heavyweight thing more. Like, we've seen him at light heavyweight. We see, like, it's the same fight every time now. Let's see what heavyweight does. Does it push him somewhere? Like,
let's be honest. Jones has been dominant because he keeps winning, but the past few years he hasn't been dominant in fights.
No,
he's not like it's not like, oh man, he's just out here killing people. He
looks beatable.
Barely winning decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, every fighter looks worse, and like Reyes, it's like it's hard to match skills up. It's like, James might be more talented than Jan, but like whenever Jan can turn out someone's lights, like, is that you're not as compelling as a champion as someone like Jan, someone like even Reyes has finishing ability. You know, he's had a bunch of finishes. Yeah, and it's like Thiago Santos also has some of the finishes.
Reyes, John lets Reyes stand there all day and like pick shots and stuff, Reyes will contend with that. But when you got Jan bombing on you,
right?
Yeah.
I ain't standing here.
You're
for
not
going
to stand there. Yeah, you got to move.
And you look at Jones's like highlights, and like if you play a promo for Jones, it's like spinning back elbow against Stephen Bonner. It's like that's fucking 12 years ago. Like or like the head kick against DC, which is a great highlight. But
it's
like
a great highlight, but it was years ago.
Choking out Machida against the cage.
Yeah,
right. And it's like, okay, well,
a long time ago. When was the last time he actually finished somebody?
Gus on the ground who hurt his like hamstring.
Oh yeah,
he
which wasn't that big.
And then Gus goes out and gets choked out by Anthony Smith, and it's like, I guess you could always do this with people on the slide.
At heavyweight.
Yeah, Verdum.
Yeah.
You could always do this with people on skids, and like it doesn't mean that it wasn't a good win at the time, but it does sort of call into question where Jones is at in terms of like how good he is now.
But it does seem like there is that John Jones curse though. Like after you fight Jones, you lose everything. Like everybody just keeps losing.
DC is the only person I could
it's
see.
like getting on the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
There was that EA curse last night. The EA curse is still real too. With Adesanya broke it last night.
Oh, he's on the cover of.
Yeah, him and Masvidal.
Yeah,
Masvidal lost against Usman.
Yeah.
And then Conor was on it before, and Conor lost to Khabib.
Yep. Yeah.
So
man, EA Sports, leave people alone.
I know, don't
just
put anyone.
Put something else on there.
Put Dana.
Yeah, put Dana on
Then
there.
the UFC goes bankrupt.
That's hilarious. That's our nightmare. All right, so Jan looked awesome. Great knockout. Let's go ahead and move on to main event, and it is Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. Also a KO in the second round, and what a letdown Paulo Costa ended up being.
Yeah, he didn't do nearly what me and you thought he was capable.
You can't talk that shit though, and perform like that.
Yeah, dude, and like act like I'm gonna come in like a real fighter. I'm a real fighter.
Yeah, and then barely threw any punches. Like it says here that he
12.
It says here that he threw 26. Me and Brandon were like, did he even throw a punch?
Yeah, I don't remember any head strikes he landed.
No, and he was applying no pressure, which we thought was his path to victory. Was just applying the pressure nonstop. He didn't apply any pressure. The one time he did push him up against the cage, and it's like, all right, now start throwing punches. He didn't throw a single punch. Not a single punch.
I thought he had in this fight. I'm like, okay, there's a couple times he got him backed up against the cage, and like Izzy would bounce out, and it felt like Costa knew he was going to bounce out. And it's like that's where you get him. Did you
clip him?
Get him in back him up against the cage, and then cut him off when he's trying to get out. You clip him, and he wasn't going for the second part of it. Like you back him up and then back up.
Like put his hands like
this.
Hey, look at me.
Yeah.
Like I know where you're gonna go. Okay, then fucking him.
Right. I just don't think he has the tools.
Yeah, I just think he had no answer for anything.
Because you think about like his past performance against, and like Hall was just running on a back foot. In my mind, because I had to rewatch that fight with Hall, he was literally just like running around the cage, just trying to fend off Costa, and not really having much to fire back with that can threaten Costa. But like I feel like Romero just stood there obviously and just let him tee off. Yeah. So just like these guys he was facing, he had this like inflated sense of like what he could do to somebody, anybody,
Costa was doing the Romero's.
Yeah, you could say that he had a twisted mindset about it or whatever because of what his past opponents let him do.
Yeah,
but
you got to try it.
You got to try it. You have to try it. You didn't even try it.
But yeah, it's maybe this kicks were harder than he was expecting from Adesanya.
It seemed like it just shut him down.
But and like what I don't understand either is like whenever you face somebody and it's like there comes a point in time where like the things you say out loud, like, oh, you're skinny and you have no power, I'm gonna walk right through you. It's like, dude, you have to like, he's the champion, dude.
Yeah,
like
he's done it.
Expect a fucking beast in front of you,
right?
And plan for that. Plan for somebody who's gonna fire back hard because like he might not punch hard, but he's fucking knocking guys out,
Right. Well, and not only were those leg kicks bad because Costa was just standing right in front of him stiff. Yeah. Not only were those leg kicks bad, but he had 20 landed halfway through the second round.
Yeah, before you can even
like what the fuck. Yeah. At one point, I was like, "Is his leg actually bleeding?" I think it might be actually bleeding.
Izzy also, I think, looked more powerful and faster than he's ever looked. Like he was whipping those kicks. And that question mark kick, it didn't land, but dude, that's the fastest question mark kick I've ever seen thrown in my life.
And
yeah, it was nuts.
And like,
it blurred.
It's hard to go forward too. Like whenever you have that many feints, and like you know he's a counter striker. It's hard to go push forward against somebody who's that precise. And like that's probably one of the best striking displays I've ever seen in the UFC. Like that,
dude,
and the Conor versus Eddie fight, that's one of the best. And this is right up there with that in terms of shutting down somebody.
That's a perfect display, dude. Like that's how you shut a guy down with strikes. Like,
hit him with the leg kicks and a couple punches here and there until he got his timing, and then once he got his timing, he just started fucking. He
kept perfect distance. He kept, know, and then somebody's like, why didn't Costa try to run in and eat him with the right? It's like, dude, because every time Adesanya like leans back and makes you pay for it, counters you. Like,
and it's the punches he never seen coming. Like he doesn't hit hard, but whenever he angles off and he's at an angle and you don't expect it, and he lands on you when you're not even looking at him.
He did look like he was hitting pretty hard this night, though.
Yeah, for sure. But like he got Robert the same way. He catches a lot of people the same way.
He had some power behind him.
And maybe it's just the time to say like, well, he's skinny, but he hits hard.
Is he on roids?
I mean,
titty.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was just about to look up.
Yeah, that titty is pretty telling.
It is pretty telling.
It's funny though. It's weird.
You know what his answer to that? Somebody has asked, like,
why are you looking at my titty?
Yeah, why are you looking at my titty? Well, what's up with it, dude?
Because we had to look at it. You had one boob.
He had no shirt off.
Yeah, you had no shirt on and you had a boob.
Right.
Like, what did you want me to look at? It's all I could notice before the fight started.
Yeah.
I was like, you see his tit?
Why do you have that?
Yeah. Well, and there's a couple different explanations, but to me, what probably the most likely one is taking estrogen or having an estrogen imbalance, which a lot of times people take estrogen to try to get away with
testosterone levels.
Yes.
And I think he looked more powerful and faster than ever.
It's
I don't know. I don't want to. I'm
not putting it out there. I'm not saying that that's for sure what happened.
But it's out there.
There are a lot of people are thinking it. I'm not going to condemn him without knowing the facts.
If you pass the test, you pass the test. I mean, it's even crazier like to have Costa fans,
Yeah.
like you think about it, it's just like, well, I mean, okay, well, look at Costa though. Look at his fucking traps.
If we're going by like look at him.
Yeah.
And while USADA is way better than what we've had in the past for testing,
it's still not
people
flawless.
still get by.
Yeah.
And I would say there's probably a lot of the superstars get away with it.
Yeah, like if you were to ask me like who I bet money is clean, there's only a few that I'd even bet money on.
Right.
Even someone like Conor who doesn't look like it. It's like, or even fucking someone like Usman. Is Usman maybe on EPO? Is that why his cardio is so good? Maybe.
Yeah, especially since he can't run.
Yeah, like maybe, but like I don't know. At this level though, it's like there's a lot of money in winning and losing, and it's like I just can what are you gonna fucking do?
I wouldn't be stunned, but I would be highly disappointed if it turned out as he was, just because
the way he talks. The way
he said, that too. Like he seems like he's supposed to be much more honorable than that.
Well, and the way he kept talking about Costa being on roids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and
don't talk about it if you're about it.
The fact that he's on his way to becoming like the next Anderson Silva, and it's like, I just don't want to see anything get.
I'll tell you what's crazy is when they show the stats for most title defenses, you're like, God, he actually is still a long ways away from Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva had 11 title defenses.
He is in reach of like the most consecutive wins at like middleweight. Like he's got like 4 away from that.
But looking at records, it's like the title defense thing is like very impressive. But I look at the opposition too, and it's like there's no fucking way those guys that Anderson Silva would beat Izzy either. Like there's no fucking way Patrick Cote would touch Izzy. And
like a guy like Robert Whitaker or Gastelum would
they're better. It's just like I feel like it's better wins now. Obviously, Silva is up. He's just on top because of the number. But like as far as quality, I feel like Izzy's right there with quality though. Especially if he beats Cannonier and maybe Whitaker too.
But what I will have to say about that is Silva had a whole lot of finishes.
Yeah. He does, yeah. He had some stinkers too.
He had some stinkers, like the Maya fight.
Terrible.
Yeah. But he had a whole lot of finishes, and he did face the best there was at the time.
Yeah,
he didn't dodge anybody.
No, obviously not.
He fought every single person that came.
But it makes me wonder, following Silva's path, is like, does Adesanya go up to light heavyweight and fight a couple fights just to be entertaining, to do it? I just can't think of any wrestlers up there, though. Because, like, striking-wise, if no one tries to take him down, I don't care how small he is. It's just like striking doesn't matter how big you are.
Yeah.
If you can't clinch him, you can't take him down.
But to me, like the scariest person for Adesanya light heavy currently, to me, would actually be Jan. Just because Jan is so big and so
like
powerful.
I'd give him a great shot against Reyes or
like I know he's taken some shots from people, but that's not like taking a shot from Jan.
Yeah. But I don't think he'd even like. You just think would he be there to get hit? Because like he just has such good.
My thing is, you got to imagine that Jan is going to land a couple punches on him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
If he lands a couple,
I think he's never felt power like that.
If he lands a couple, he's never felt power like that. But then again, as I said to you guys in that message last night, at the same time, he could end up making him look so bad, like Anderson Silva made Forrest Griffin look.
Right.
But I would also say Jan's a whole lot better than Forrest.
He's a lot more, Forrest didn't really have any much tools to beat Anderson with.
No.
That's probably his like most easy matchup in the top 5 in that division.
Yeah.
Just based off of, like tool wise. Forrest is like gritty and like grind it out. Like
Forrest is already lucky to fucking be there.
Yeah, like
yeah, he was just tough as fuck. Is
Yeah.
how he won fights. He's like, I'm just tough. You can punch me in the face 800 times.
I can't even think of him even like thinking of Forrest Griffin, and I've watched a lot of MMA. I can't even think of him like being impressive anywhere. Like I can't even think of like maybe leg kick and Rampage. That was like it.
And talking.
Yeah, and being cool.
Yeah, yeah, and just being awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was,
great,
like-
one of the best personalities in MMA.
Yeah.
Very humble and very like self-effacing, but like it just he just right place at the right time. He
Yeah.
beat Rampage the way he did. Rampage had no answer for leg kicks, and that was his plan, and he did it. And congrats to him.
Yeah.
He was a champion. But like he just didn't have a lot of heart either. Like
Those
if he
damn
got
leg kicks, man.
Rashad broke him, Silva broke him, and it's like
Yeah, but he didn't know what to do against Silva. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's so slow. Yeah. But I would watch Jan versus Adesanya for sure.
I would watch it.
Yeah, that's a better fight. I mean, like I'd rather watch that than Cannonier.
I mean, dude, we would watch Holly Holm versus what the fuck's her name this coming weekend because
Yeah.
we watch all the MMA.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Like
I'll
we
watch
wouldn't watch
anything.
it.
Someone said that Adesanya made Costa look like Beth Correa or whatever. Like
Oh wow.
Well, what I said after the fight, it was kind of funny to me too. Because what I said after the fight, it said if this was Mortal Kombat, it'd be flawless victory.
Yeah.
And then right after the fights, they have those like Paul Felder and a couple other people talking about the
broadcast,
fights.
yeah, the panel.
The first thing Paul Felder said when they went to him was, "If this was Mortal Kombat, it'd be flawless victory." And I was like, "Oh shit,
Stole my line.
bastard! I
But
knew
like-
I should be on TV."
I remember Izzy had a altercation with his manager, like Eric Albareno, whatever that guy, like him and Cejudo's manager, that little dude with the glasses or whatever, it's always around. And then I think he said to Izzy, "We're coming for you." Like you just lost the fight. Like,
Yeah,
that's
like-
not the time to say
We're coming for you.
when your dude gets up, like
Yeah.
it's just like.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I just don't see like top 10 middleweights. I don't know who's even there to fight him now. It's like matchup wise, that was I think Romero and Costa was his biggest challenges.
Right, but he still has people he hasn't beat in middleweight that
He has-
are ranked up at the top.
He beat the top 7 already, top 6 or 7.
Did he?
He beat 7 of the top 10.
Who?
Izzy did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he has like Jerry Cannonier and Jack Hermanson. That's the only people I can think of. He
Yeah,
hasn't
That's
beat.
what I was thinking
He's
of, but they're
basically-
3 and 4.
He's real close to cleaning out the division.
Yeah, real close.
Two fights, and it's like
Yeah.
maybe a Whitaker rematch. Depends on what happens with him and Cannonier. But even then, I would be less interested.
It
in
seems
seeing
like
that.
there's a lot of push for that Whitaker rematch, and I'm like, why, dude? What?
Depends on what he does in this Cannonier fight.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
He didn't look great in that.
But even
this
if
is
he-
a perfect way to get right into
The rankings. Yeah.
If Whitaker eked out a decision, though, I wouldn't be like, yeah, let's see him.
Because I don't think like
He didn't do enough.
he doesn't do anything better than Izzy does. Like his
Yeah.
punches are. Like, it's crazy to even imagine like skill level wise. Because like you watch that performance and like no one else could do that against Costa. Nobody.
Right.
Nobody could do that. Like Whitaker
No.
couldn't pitch a shutout against Costa like that.
Yeah.
He could beat him.
Like, depending on Whitaker Cannonier, if Whitaker maybe even just eked out a decision with
I wouldn't
Cannonier,
even
I still might rather see Cannonier fight Izzy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just to see the difference.
I actually don't hate the Cannonier fight, but well, you know what? We'll get there.
Yeah.
So right now we're at Hakeem Dawodu, and he is ranked on this website 18 in the featherweight division, and he looked pretty decent. Fuck, we just
Jeremy Stevens is number 10.
how he hasn't won a fight. I feel like in like fucking 5 years.
I think he's
Really?
ranked even higher than it.
He has
in
2
the
losses
UFC.
and a no contest with Yair. I mean, those are okay losses too. It's not like he's losing to like scrubs, but still.
But I'd watch him fight Cub Swanson,
Yeah.
Ryan Hall,
Ryan
Bryce
Hall
Mitchell?
was what I
Bryce
was
Mitchell's
thinking.
fight Andre Feely.
Okay.
So, but Sodiq
Ryan
Youssef.
Hall, I think, would be a decent one.
Sodiq Youssef also needs, well, actually fight Edson Barbosa. That fight I think is off now. I feel like that fight's off now.
Is
I
it?
read, yeah.
We'll have,
Oh,
we'll have
no.
to try to take a look at
I
that.
feel like Barbosa's. I heard that Barbosa's gonna maybe fight.
He is. He's filling in for a fight. I have that in the news,
I
actually.
think it's Olivier. No, it's
I
not
don't know
Olivier.
not
much
sure
about
who
that
it is.
Arnold Allen dude, but
He
maybe that's a
last
good
beat.
matchup.
It's so bizarre to see.
He beat Gilbert Melendez?
All
Oh,
decisions.
Gilbert Melendez. I was thinking somebody else. Sorry. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. All decisions. I don't know. I like, honestly, anybody.
16-1's a good ass record though. He needs to step up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah, 3 straight wins. Yeah.
Burgos would be a good fight.
I honestly, I like Cub Swanson. And who's
Yeah.
Cub Swanson really going to fight? I know he just beat Kron Gracie, but
I like Ryan Hall. I think it's a good matchup.
I don't think Ryan Hall would fight backwards. I think he wants to step up too,
Yeah.
but
Well,
he doesn't really deserve it. But fucking whatever.
yeah, what, you
Great
beat BJ
main
Ped?
BJ
Great
Penn.
job. Yeah, BJ Ped. Come on. BJ Ped hasn't been good forever. He fought for a long time, but
He almost has like a 500 record.
yeah, that's
like-
fucking insane.
Yeah, it's like he's like 16 and like 14 or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm not too concerned with the other guy. Are we concerned about looking at these two ladies?
No, please don't make me do this.
All right. So we're gonna go to flyweight, and let me get there. Oh, where are you, flyweight?
Actually, I like how they showed the top 25. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot better.
So we're looking at.
So he beat.
Well, he beat.
Yeah, well, actually, they
Flores.
they updated that shit real fast. Look,
Mhm.
he's already up number 8 now on that site. So if you can make him and Alex Perez, I'd watch that shit. Formiga needs to go out of the top 10. He has 3 losses in a row. He needs to
What
go
the
down
hell,
to
dude?
15 maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Maybe feed him to Royval though and take that spot.
or you could feed Benavidez to fucking Royval.
That's true. And that would probably be a feeding. Poor Benavidez.
But Benavidez, he wants to go out on a win, so he's probably looking to not fight a fucking maniac like.
But
Brandon
who
Wolf.
But he
does he
probably
fight?
wants a decent win, and that's a pretty far step back.
Maybe Kai Kara France for Benavidez though.
I think Kygar France would beat him now.
Yeah, I do too. But
Yeah, but Royval needs to step up. I mean, someone can usually. I think the UFC usually matches winners and winners. They don't match a loser and winner unless they have to.
Yeah, Alex Perez, Askar Askarov.
Right. Any of these guys too, I feel like would be good placeholders because I mean the division's kind of tied up with Figueiredo fighting.
I think you should
Cody.
put him against Askarov because if he can beat Askarov, then like, dude, your top like 3,
5.
4, 5 is really interesting. Like,
Yeah. Although I think Askar Askarov is still really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some good punches. He had great takedowns. He looked good.
I'm saying they should do Askarov. Actually, Moreno's fighting Alex Perez, so they could do Askarov, and they do Royval. You know,
Yeah.
because
So you're saying Askarov and Royval?
yeah, because
Yeah.
Moreno's already fighting Alex Perez,
Yeah.
which is a good fight. That's probably the number one contendership fight if you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Because
Especially
it's not going to be Benavidez.
Yeah, especially if Moreno wins, he's
Yeah.
probably fighting for the title. So then you have someone lined up too with Askarov and Royval, because Pantoja is coming off a loss, so he shouldn't be there either.
Yeah. So I would say it's either Askar Askarov, or I do think, even though they typically go with guys who win versus win, Joseph Benavidez.
yeah.
Yeah, it depends on where Benavidez is coming out, where he wants to go with his career in his last fight.
Yeah, it's really depending on what Benavidez would want
There's
to
no
do
good.
there.
There's no easy fights for him though going forward
No.
if he wants to, because I feel like he's a step behind all these guys and he's sort of inflated ranking now.
Right.
He's like having to fight young killers behind him who's like fucking 27.
Yeah.
Being 36 or 37
I
and
think
like
he should
flyweight.
just retire. I mean,
Yeah,
Benavidez,
yeah. Because if you could lose again, who you gonna fight?
you're gonna keep chasing that win
Call
until
it-
you're BJ Penn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking get a one and fight some random Russian guy who's
Go to what and juice up.
Yep.
fucking
That's
do
what I
it.
say to all these guys that are leaving the UFC.
That's
Go to
what-
what and juice up.
That's the best career advice.
Yeah. So we did like France, so I think we can go ahead and look for him. And I actually
He's top
think the
10.
guy right below him is probably.
Tim Elliott,
Or you can fight Tim Elliott. Yeah, that's a good fight.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tim Elliott fight, but that is a step back.
I do think,
And,
Only
well, that
two.
guy's coming off a win,
I do
too.
think if Benavidez does want another fight, that the Kai Kara France fight's a good one. I don't see an easy win for him. So what the fuck are you gonna do? France,
He's
I
gotta
think,
fight
is
somebody
an
decent.
exciting matchup.
I don't know who Rogerio Bontorin is. I don't know who that guy is.
But I like that just because it's the guy ranked right above him. He's also
Yeah.
coming off a loss to
Yeah.
Ray Borg. So, I mean, I think that's a decent fight.
Yeah, yeah.
10
Why
versus
not make
9.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, any of these guys here, it's like it all depends on me on who's available. I wouldn't care to see him against anybody in the top. Tim Elliott, if he's available, if he wants to fight. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like
Tim Elliott's pretty fun, too.
I don't know enough about the two guys surrounding his ranking to tell whether or not he matches up well with them.
Right,
You know?
right.
Because I know Tim Elliott fights. I know he's good at scrambles. I feel like Carl France is probably a better striker than Tim Elliott at this point. But Tim Elliott looked okay. That fight, I remember we covered that fight, his last fight against Benoit, and I think me and Kyle agreed that he lost that fight. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, he was a close fight, but
Yeah, I
he was
remember it.
getting beat up. He was came on with a lot of volume, but he was getting thrashed on the
So
feet.
that would be.
Well, and honestly,
3 fights good if-
everybody above him has quite a better record. I mean, 16-11-1.
Yeah,
Not that good.
Not that great.
Not
But
that great.
fucking Kai Kara France 21. How does he have 9 losses? He looks better than 9 losses. Maybe he just
Early on, maybe.
had early terrible losses.
Early terrible losses, bad luck.
Yeah. Yeah, some of that shit is deceiving. Some of the records
Brandon Moreno and Brandon Royval recently. you
Dude,
know.
that'd be a fucking good ass fight.
Moreno versus Royval.
Yeah.
They might
The
see
Brandon
that
battle.
eventually.
Fucking.
Brandon battle.
Brandon battle.
Dude, I
You can get in there and referee.
yeah,
dude.
yeah, heavily invested in this fight.
That's hilarious. You can get in there, referee.
Bring me in. Probably be better than some refs, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean-
probably.
Not toot my own horn here, but some aren't even fans of MMA, I don't think. But
All right, so light heavyweight, the fight to me that makes the most sense.
Sanchez versus Glover, winner. That's it.
That's to
Yeah.
me. That's the fight.
Yeah.
I don't really see another one. Obviously, if John Jones does decide to go back down, I don't really want to see that.
And honestly, if Glover did beat Thiago, I would like to see Blackowitz and Glover go at it.
Fucking
I
two
think
old-
it's
battle
two
of
old
men's strength.
fucking knockout artists.
Yeah, well, I'd watch Glover fight and any fight. I do
Yeah.
like Glover.
He's in great shape right now, man. I mean, it's not.
But I
it's
do
not
think
unheard of.
Thiago Santos.
Me too.
I think he might be the guy.
Yeah. It depends on how well Jan has sort of made up that gap that existed between him and Thiago that led Thiago to knock him out in the first place.
Right.
The way he was rushing forward against Thiago and got clipped was, I feel like if he shores that up and fights a more patient fight and doesn't get overzealous with his combinations, he has a good chance of beating Thiago.
Yeah, and that's a great fight because Thiago did knock out Blachowicz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that creates a little extra
Some
hype
drama.
behind the fight.
They trained together even after that.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That-
there's
that-
what are you gonna do? Have you showed him all your secrets? You
Yeah.
guys trained together.
That's a very interesting thing to do after you fight, and it's you have to know if you guys are competitive, you guys are gonna face each other again down the
probably
line.
run into each other.
Yeah,
again.
that's very ballsy to train like
But
that.
I think Jan was really complimentary of Thiago. He was like, that fight with him made me a better fighter, and
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
So maybe he
Jan
just
just
reached
seems
out
like
to
a
him.
great guy.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He seems a pretty humble dude.
And he looks like Stipe's brother.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that thing about his rope, the rope thing he does or whatever? Apparently, there's a customary thing in Poland. It's good luck. It's so bizarre. If you find somebody hanging, committed suicide, you're supposed to take their rope.
Oh, and keep it?
Yeah.
I did hear this somewhere.
And then he said he didn't keep it, but before every fight he goes and visits the tree with the rope hanging from it and touches it. And fucking
he found somebody.
fucking
who
dead
has-
suicide rope
Jesus
Jan
Christ.
is undefeated.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like
What kind of witchery is
and
this?
he was complaining because he was the UFC filmed a segment on it for a countdown show, but they never use it. I fucking wonder why they want to paint their number
Right.
one contender
as a
champion.
Psycho.
As a psychopath. They're painting you as a really nice guy,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Yeah.
I'm sad that you just put that out in the world, Brandon.
Big cultural
Sorry.
difference.
Yeah, I don't judge him on it 'cause it's weird, but also
Cultural.
it's also just a very it's so specific that's fucking yeah. They shouldn't promote this. It's not a good thing about you.
It's just
Yeah.
And but it's very endearing that he wonders, he doesn't know why it's not going to be used to promote himself. He's very
Why don't they talk about it?
yeah.
My suicide rope.
Why don't they talk about the suicide rope? You guys are being weird.
Yeah.
No, Jan, you're being weird.
They could sell Jan fucking suicide ropes you could take home. At the
I
shop.
see that ending real bad. A bunch of people walking around with nooses.
Yeah. Somebody actually commits suicide with it.
Oh, you influenced him to commit suicide. What? With my suicide rope? How?
How? Just because I sold him a suicide rope? This is bullshit.
But then he's Highlander and he takes the power from you. If you commit suicide with the suicide rope, he takes your power.
That's why he got so good.
Man, I think we're onto something here.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz is a horrible person.
I think he should be tested for this. He shouldn't be allowed. That's performance enhancing fucking.
It's
Customs, yeah.
obviously performance
Are you
enhancing.
collecting souls?
Are you collecting souls?
I think Reyes should find his own suicide rope to go touch and run it back, dude. That's only fair.
It's called Fight Anthony Smith next.
And
Oh yeah, hanging somewhere from someone.
and
Anthony Smith's hanging by a thread, dude.
very weirdly, now all of a sudden sudden Dominic Reyes is on a 2-fight skid.
Yeah. It looks worse than it actually is.
It does. It's John Jones
and that
the champion.
And that you beat Chris Weidman as your last win.
Right.
Yeah, that's not very good. And he split decision.
That's almost a loss anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that he even fought Chris Weidman.
That's a loss.
It's a loss.
and his win before that was a Volkan Ozdemir split decision.
Yeah, wow.
He lost on one judge, so he needs a good performance his next fight.
And I think he
Rakic.
I was going to say Rakic or Prochazka. I think it's right there. Those guys are both.
Those dudes might dust him.
They really might. Like if you look at this.
So I think you should fight Anthony Smith.
Man, Rakic is maybe a little more impressive, but
I don't know. I mean, Ozdemir has never been knocked out, and he got KO'd by him, so that's a good win.
Yeah.
So decision.
But Ozdemir is like.
But
not
Anthony
what,
Smith
that great,
Smith and Manuel, you know what I mean?
Well, you look at
and then CB Dalloway and Fabio Maldonado.
Well, if we're doing MMA math,
Maldonado,
Prochazka
Jesus.
knocked out the dude who beat Rakic by decision.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So Prochazka actually.
Right.
Right.
But the other two names I think are just more impressive than CB Dalloway and.
Okay, here's a question.
Maldonado.
Manuel, do you think Manuel would beat Yuri Prochazka? He'd probably get knocked out.
Probably.
I mean, he has a glass chin. He's one of those glass cans.
But he also has all the power.
Yeah. So it's
no matter what, he's more impressive than CB Dalloway and Maldonado.
But he just got in the UFC too. You can only win however he only has one fight and he knocks out the dude.
Right.
You can't really hold that against him as much.
Right.
And
he's KO'd all of them.
But Anthony Smith didn't look that win. He looked good in his leg kicks and his punching, but then he wrestled him for a decision.
Right.
So as going forward, am I as excited to see him fight as Prochazka? Just based off his last performance, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather see Reyes fight somebody. I don't know. It depends on how.
Honestly, though, those 3 wins all by KO also to me adds a little bit of power to his name, a little hype to his name.
Yeah, if you're searching
you're knocking
fools,
cats out, dude.
Yeah, it don't matter who you're knocking out. If you're knocking out, you come to the UFC knocking out, and you're still, that's what you're doing. You're still repeating.
Yeah,
it.
Rakic is probably one of the highest, fastest rising.
Those
guys.
dudes are probably ranked similarly to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, maybe I'd prefer to see Reyes versus Prochazka, but I don't know if Reyes would prefer that.
He probably wants Rakic, but things are so congruent and fit in place pretty well with light heavyweight. Mm-hmm. It's there's very, very linear paths. It's you just have Santos and Glover. That's the number one contender fight. Then you have any combination of these last few people that aren't fighting those people.
Right.
Yeah. So you have Smith fighting. Well,
it's kind of set up perfectly, actually.
Walker called out Smith. Johnny Walker called out.
I have that in the news
be a
too.
good fight.
Yeah, I think that's so. That to me, that's so tough to call. I love Anthony Smith, but we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
So then now we're looking at middleweight. And
pretty clear cut for Izzy, I think, who he fights next.
I agree. It's going to be the winner of Whitaker and Cannonier.
Well, I don't necessarily. I mean, it seems like the UFC is keen on the Whitaker rematch, but it's man, if he just ekes out a decision, are we really going to rematch?
Yeah, but then if not, then who does he fight? He can't fight Cannonier then. Hermanson? Yeah, all right.
Well, if he's coming off a win, that's a good win against Kelvin.
Yeah.
It depends how it shakes out there because you can match them up differently based on who wins that fight.
I actually I think the most interesting fight is Cannonier.
Yeah.
Because they both come from a
I'm hoping
kickboxing
to
background.
See Cannonier win and get the shot and it be.
Well, Hermanson's fighting Darren Till in December apparently. So.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that. Yeah.
So if Hermanson beats Till, that's a terrible idea for Till. Till needs to step backwards.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be fighting Hermanson. That's a big step up still.
We're almost getting to the point where Izzy might have to venture into other waters. To keep it exciting.
I think the 2 fights that are still there, Cannonier and Jack Hermanson. Yeah. But honestly, if Robert Whitaker does beat Jared Cannonier, he still deserves a title shot, whether we like it or not. He does.
Yeah.
And I feel like Izzy would probably beat him again. I don't think. But it depends how he looks in the fight against Cannonier.
I just think Cannonier to me is the best stylistically matchup.
He has long straight leg kicks, very big dude.
They were both good in kickboxing.
Right.
Cannonier has actually probably a little more power than Israel, but
Israel's
going to have the speed. We don't know about new right boo Adesanya. He might have all the power.
I hope that's how it shakes out, though. I hope Cannonier beats Whitaker.
I think he will, actually.
Legit gets on a 4-fight win streak or whatever. Was he on a 5-fight win streak.
I don't like how Cannonier is a QAnon guy. That's upsetting.
Is he?
Me. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He
sucks.
he retweets like QAnon stuff. I'm like, dude, bad look. Hard to root for you if you're into QAnon.
Now hope everybody beats you.
Yeah, that's like
because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So that Whitaker rematch.
Yeah, like it's hard not to root for Whitaker.
Whitaker, knock him out in the first round. That way it makes the Adesanya fight more interesting.
Yeah, but like I just the fan of me wants to see him fight Adesanya based off his skill set. Yeah. The person who exists in the United States in the current political climate, hope he gets knocked out because he's a fucking imbecile. So hard to.
But if Hermanson beats Till, I'd like to see Hermanson get that shot after. Whatever that.
If Hermanson beats Till, I feel like I'd rather him see leapfrog Whitaker if Whitaker wins.
Yeah,
Whitaker
I
wins.
would.
I'd be okay with that. Just a fresh matchup.
But also depends on what kind of fashion Robert Whitaker wins in.
If he ekes out a decision and say Hermanson is a better performance against Till.
Yeah, I'd rather see Hermanson.
Because I don't think Whitaker looked like good against Till. So if it's 2 tepid performances in a row, that shouldn't net you a title shot.
But you also don't think Hermanson gets fucking destroyed by Adesanya?
I think he does, but you got to throw him in there at that point. Well, his striking's not. His grappling is a lot more testing. Like his top game is in BJJ.
I don't even know if he gets to it though. Like,
Well, I feel like Izzy stays out of those ranges.
Yeah.
He just doesn't let people in on him like that anymore. Really.
I honestly think, truthfully, no matter what, I think the Whitaker versus Cannonier fight is the title contender, no matter what we'd like to see. Yeah. So then I'll say for Costa, I would say either the loser of the Cannonier Whitaker fight or the winner of the Hermanson Till fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even Gaslam.
Yeah.
I'd watch that fight.
Yeah, I'd for sure watch that fight.
I mean,
I think
Kelvin.
that'd be a good fight.
It's just that Kelvin's coming off 3 straight losses, man.
Yeah, he needs to step back. He probably needs to fight like Brunson or something like that.
Yeah, or Brunson versus Costa.
Brunson versus Costa.
Dude, yeah, but
that'd be cool.
That wouldn't end well for
man.
Brunson,
Look at the drop off after that. I mean, I think Uriah Hall should be higher. Edmund Shabazian.
Why is
Chris Weidman ahead of these people? He shouldn't be ahead of any. I might accept him. This is actually who he just beat. So okay, you can be ahead of him.
Why is Marvin Vettori fighting Akhmedov, dude?
Yeah, right.
He needs to fight Weidman.
Yeah.
Like he needs a big.
Shemaev smash.
Wait, go down for a second. Go down. This what? Okay, yeah, has a good. Yeah, like Weidman shouldn't be higher. He should be like 14.
Yeah, I agree.
Just based on performance and that name, like Akhmedov's rankings is pretty inflated. Like he's not good.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but like I don't know. I feel like Hall could jump in there and fight
Costa.
Well, they already fought recently. That's good. Three fights again for Costa. He could fight. I think Hall and Kelvin should rematch. They fought in the Ultimate Fighter finale. Remember, he beat Hall for that.
Yeah.
So that'd be okay rematch. But
so let's jump into news.
All right.
And I'm gonna let you guys start with this while I piss, and it is the first one because I personally think it's the weakest.
I'm gonna let Kyle start because I think Kyle has strongest opinion.
I hate it. I hate it so much, dude. What I like for one, Dana's saying he don't think or he hasn't negotiated any of it, but Connor says that's a lie. But like, it looks like that they're trying to set this up for sure.
Yeah.
And I just don't like. What are you doing? I'm so over Conor McGregor's shit, dude. Like, especially seeing he releases those DMs with Dana, and it's like he thinks it
like
shows Dana being an asshole, and it's like. Dana's being pretty reasonable, I think, and you're being a spoiled fucking asshole. Like, you're like, oh, the Gaethje fight, like, has to happen in May. Well, it can't happen that soon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then Diego Sanchez. What?
Yeah, like, that's a big leap.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's just filler. Like, why are you interested in filler, Connor, to make fucking
You fight
money?
once a year now.
Yeah, like, I was doing my season.
But if your season's full of cans,
why do we care?
That's like saying like Goldberg's fucking streak in WCW when he fought La Park every week or whatever on Thunder.
Now you're gonna waste our time with a fucking Manny Pacquiao fight just to rake in a bunch of money for what? Another exhibition match? We don't care. Why is anybody interested in this?
Yeah, don't care at all. I will only watch it if I can stream it for free, and I might still not watch it.
And it seems like that is the major consensus.
Yeah.
So like.
Don't they have feelers?
Is anybody even going to tune in?
And also, I don't even think it's actually a for sure thing.
Yeah. But what it does is like, it just fucking creates a bunch of like confusion about his like UFC future.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot of confusion, to be honest. I'm not sure.
confusion.
I'm not sure he's going to fight there again. If he does, it's going to be some stupid
Bullshit.
shit.
Yeah, Diego Sanchez.
To get into what I heard you saying, like spoiled brat talking about fighting Diego Sanchez,
exactly what it looks like.
I agree. And it was honestly weird enough that you fought Donald Cerrone.
That loss looks weird. That win looks terrible now.
Right, but at least Donald Cerrone had like the most finishes in UFC history. He had the most submissions in UFC history.
Yeah.
So there's accolades behind his name.
Yeah, some
He's
accolades.
an exciting fighter who's gonna maybe push.
Diego
you.
Sanchez, his claim to fame might be most times punched in the face in the UFC.
And literally his storyline.
And guess what you're good at, Connor? Punching people in the face.
And Dana's reply was like, "We'd lose our license. We sanction those fights." Like,
Right.
and then he's like bitching about, I want to fight Justin in May, but it's like he knows it can't happen at that time.
Right.
And Justin just came off a great performance against Tony. Justin
He wants to beat him up real quick.
Yeah.
you can't swoop in and matchmake against somebody who's putting in work and fighting.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't expect somebody to take that fight just because you're Conor McGregor whenever they earned a title shot.
Especially because of how dominant he won that fight. Everybody knew he was fighting for the title.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no question.
Justin Gaethje looked like the best fighter in the UFC that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was one of the most impressive performances I've seen.
He
But-
wasn't willing to wait till July to do it. Why?
Yeah.
You're not
Like,
fighting
You
anyways.
still got half the year left after that.
Right.
Like,
You're
what's the
on
fucking
some
problem?
boat doing
Sorry,
coke
there's a
and drinking whiskey.
Yeah,
What's
sorry,
the
there's a
difference?
pandemic and shit.
Yeah.
We're working it out. We're trying. I mean, like I don't. There was people siding with Connor, and I'm like, dude, Dana seemed totally reasonable there.
And there may not have been two bigger Connor fans than me and you.
Yeah, I love
but this
them.
is getting fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, if you come out and you're like, hey, I want to fight fucking Charles Oliveira in July, dude, respect.
Respect.
cool, yeah.
Respect.
Yes.
That's a killer, and that's somebody who hasn't fought yet. That's
Yep.
somebody who just step up. That's someone
Yeah.
who's trying to take your
It's-
spot, and you know that.
And if you beat him, it gives you an argument to be in the top three.
Yeah.
And to make your way to and actually earn your way to a title shot.
Right.
You know, because people
Right.
were putting the work around you, and you're not even doing it.
Yeah, but you're not doing shit. I honestly, at this point, as much as I love everything Connor did, I still am not going to downplay his accomplishments in the UFC like a lot of people do. They're like,
No.
they're like, they fed him people and then gave him a championship. Man, he beat Max Holloway, Chad Mendez, and Dustin
Yeah.
Poirier in that climb. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and even like me, who's
Jose Aldo.
probably more of a
Yeah.
Connor hater than anybody who loves him. Like even when I mentioned him earlier, greatest striking performance, one of the greatest striking performances ever against Eddie.
Mhm.
You know, and I never have ever downplayed his skill.
Right.
You just question like his career as like a thing.
Yeah.
And, like, you question whether.
His legacy is kind of fucked at this point.
Yeah, because it's so fucking like he made it more confusing by chasing things that I don't care about, and maybe
Yeah.
I don't care about them. If you care about money, that's cool. I don't care about your bank account. I
Yeah.
care about your fights. I
I cared about your legacy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a UFC fan. I care what you've done
Well,
in the fight.
And I care about your legacy because I've been a fan of yours for so long, and everybody questions it because you never had any title defenses,
Yeah.
because you do all this fucking crazy outside of the UFC
Right.
shit.
You're becoming hard to defend.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'll still defend what you did in the past,
Yeah.
but your legacy is not cemented. At this point, I can't say that your legacy is cemented as one of the greatest of all
Yeah.
time.
No.
Can't say it.
don't even know if you round out the top 10. Like,
Right. Can't
and,
say
and
it.
like it's just like you become more like a BJ Penn type of figure over time, and not as
Yeah.
severe as that because he has to stick around and get beat.
Yeah.
But it's like you become a what if. You know, you become
Yeah.
a what if sort of name. What if Connor actually has head on straight and fought contenders?
Yeah.
He could be as great as he probably thinks himself to be, or as great as his fans. Probably, some of them maybe delusional.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to hypothesize about something that didn't happen. You know what I mean? What if he defended his title against Khabib? Could a focused Connor beat Khabib? Maybe.
Maybe.
And like taking a year and a half, 2 years off between fights
Yeah.
does not, in partying and like do whatever
Yeah.
else God knows what you're doing.
And honestly, with the maybe about Khabib, I'll say this because when I just watched like the first few minutes of their fight again, Khabib and Conor, and before he got taken down, it was clear that Khabib was going to be in trouble if this didn't go to the ground. You saw Conor's weird movement. You saw that Khabib didn't really know what to do with it, except for he knows what he can do. He can take you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Connor did well in defending
Defending the
keeping
takedowns.
Khabib at bay. Like, yeah, you took him down, but he basically wiggled his hips out the whole time, keeping you from doing anything.
Yeah.
He just gassed, and then you overwhelmed him. But like
his first level takedown
focus
defense.
Connor, build up the cardio enough to deal with that, or figure out a way to keep himself from getting taken down.
My thing is like just like
The knee.
keeping sharp too. keeping sharp. You know, whenever you're not fighting often, whenever you're fighting every year and a half, every year, it's like I can't even have faith that his training camps are good and that he puts in the work he used to put in. I just can't have faith in that now because he has so many distractions. Like,
it doesn't seem like he wants it that much anymore.
Yeah, there's a difference between like 145 making that weight cut, just in the trenches, putting in that work in, coming up fighting Dustin Poirier, coming Brandao, fighting these killers, having something to prove versus.
I want to fight Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's a different mindset to me, and it's like
the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
You want to go have a walk in the fucking park.
Right.
He might as well fight like even if he fought like Kevin Lee, like that's a better fucking fight than Diego Sanchez. Yeah. Somebody like dumb like that, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Now, but at least it's in the division.
There's no, Diego, you're a legend. You can pump into my fucking ear to convince me that you want to do that just because you're so honored to fight Diego.
And there's no path
and
of
not
victory.
that you want an easy night out to make $2 million fucking dollars.
Like, the only way you could convince me is if he would have said, which he has not said, is if he was like, listen, man, I'd really like to give Diego a payday.
Yeah. That's a different story.
If he would have said that, but he's not saying that whatsoever.
But well, like Diego's whole storyline now is like fucking weird coach.
Yeah.
But like you're gonna fight dude who has weird coach and no training now.
Why is he weird, dude? He played rugby when he was.
Well, that's true. A-level athlete.
Kindergarten rugby star.
Yeah. But like it's just like and like. You want to fight the worst Diego Sanchez we've ever seen in the UFC in his whole long tenure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, by far the worst.
Yeah, and like the most
he just fought on the undercard and was awful.
Yeah, and like it's just that's like the least like if you fought Matt Brown, I'd accept that more. Mm-hmm. If you fought anybody at welterweight, it does
nothing to shake the rust off. It doesn't like
because it's a fucking punching bag. Yeah. You might as well say I want to punch a punching bag. And get paid for it.
Yeah,
you know?
$2 billion, by the way.
Yeah, and it's not and like the UFC could not sell that fight.
No, could not sell
because
that
it's like
there'd be people making fun of them for it. Like
right, they look at Diego's his performances.
They would literally have to sell it as watch how bad Conor McGregor beats this man. Like that would be it, and that's probably why you can't get it sanctioned.
And it's just like the UFC is not going to pay you that much money to fucking fight him, dude.
Yeah,
you have to fight somebody who they can make some money off of, and it's hard to get Conor. Get them to pay Conor when there's no fans.
Yeah,
it's hard to get them to pay. Like that's the most no-brainer ever.
Yeah.
So you pay Conor $10 million or whatever to fight for no fans. Diego Sanchez, an empty arena that they can't make money off of a gate.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I'm surprised they even let him fight during a pandemic because of that too.
Yeah. Now I will say, if for some reason Conor McGregor knocked out Manny Pacquiao, I'd be a little pumped. I mean, I wouldn't be like, "Oh my god," but I'd be like, "Man, that's kind of cool."
Yeah, but I would still be like, "All right, when you get in that cage, buddy, like time to get back to work."
His Instagram post, he said that he should have kicked Floyd in the neck. That he didn't know why he went under the boxing rules, and that depending on how he feels, he might get DQ'd and kick Pacquiao. Like
that's absurd.
And like,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like why even fight in boxing then?
But what's crazy if he did knock out Manny Pacquiao, if they actually fought at that weight class, he'd be the champ.
Really?
Is Pacquiao champ now?
Yeah, I don't WBA champ opens as heavy favorite.
They shouldn't even sanction that fight if you're a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
If you're an athletic commission.
Yeah.
You shouldn't sanction an 0-1 pro boxer versus.
Well, they
Manny
think they're
going
to make millions of dollars off of it.
It's like so.
And boxing needs millions of dollars.
And like, I'd rather fucking see Conor go fight in kickboxing, dude. Go fight in fucking Glory.
Yeah.
Go fight the guy knocked out.
Problem is nobody's getting paid in Glory.
Buying it.
But I mean, it's just like, you know, if you're gonna bitch about boxing and bitch about kicks and like why they're holding you back with your skill set, go fight in a promotion you can kick somebody else.
I can't see this selling nearly as well as the Mayweather fight.
No, I think it'll probably sell still, but it won't be anywhere near as close.
That it will.
It was the same talking they had against like they're like Khabib versus fucking Floyd. Like why, dude?
Yeah.
If they had fucking MMA fight, I'd be interested maybe. Even
I
then,
probably wouldn't even be interested because he's going to kill.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be interested for the spectacle of seeing Floyd
Mayweather.
Seeing Floyd in an octagon would be fucking crazy, though.
Yeah,
it'd
but
be,
like if James Toney
of
couldn't even throw a punch against Randy Couture, what do you think Mayweather's going to do against Khabib?
Yeah,
crippled.
Like he might get one jab in before Khabib grabs him.
He'd be lucky.
I feel like he could.
Oh my god,
Khabib could fucking even leg kick him and fuck him up.
Yeah.
He just he doesn't even have to take him down instantly because Khabib
take your leg right out.
He's on a great striker.
2 leg kicks and Mayweather's out.
Plus, like, it's different with MMA gloves. You know,
stop. Ow.
Yeah.
It's way different. You know, you think you could translate and
his defense would be different.
Yeah.
And take 3 leg kicks, your fucking whole base is destroyed.
Well, that's why
you
Conor
punch.
can't go in there and just knock out Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? It's a different thing. If you were fighting with UFC gloves, I might give Conor a shot at knocking Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
or
smaller the
kicks
glove,
even.
better. Yeah, or kicks, but he was never gonna give him kicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because Floyd has all the bargaining power.
And Floyd Mayweather's never been fucking kicked in the leg.
No idea
Seriously, I think
that.
2 would destroy him. He'd be done.
Yeah, he'd be ow, stop, ow.
Might break his leg.
Yeah.
Right.
For real.
Especially he's older. He's like 41. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's bad, but.
All right. So next bit of news is actually Marvin Vettori versus.
This is a rematch.
Is it a rematch?
Yeah. It went to a draw, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I would say from the last fight we saw, I hope Marvin Vettori wins this handedly.
It's crazy how like he drew with Omari Akhmedov. Like
Yeah.
That's like when people bring up the Vettori like Israel fight that the people were saying that he
Because this is the guy that just lost to fucking Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah. This.
You got to be able to beat this guy.
Yeah. If you want any sort of success in middleweight,
Right.
you gotta fucking thrash this dude.
Yeah. So that's probably all we need to say about it.
Yeah. Well, he actually he controlled Israel on the ground for last round of their fight and lost by split decision. So that's kind of impressive.
Yeah. But so then we got Bobby Green.
Who's Thiago Moises?
I was thinking the same thing.
I think he just fights anybody.
Let's
Bobby
go.
Green.
Well, man, but it's crazy. He's gonna fight again.
Yeah.
This is gonna be his fourth time this year.
Like, fourth in like 5 months.
Yeah. He just fucking.
But so what is that lightweight?
Lightweight. Yeah.
So let's see who this Moises is. Like, it's not even Moses.
Moises.
Like, change it to Moses. That's
probably nowhere. Way all down the line.
Damn.
Like, you guys haven't seen his name, right?
No.
There
he is.
33. He subbed Michael
but he
Johnson.
just beat Michael Johnson.
Damn.
So, all right.
13-4 is not a bad record. Why is he 33? It's insane that they have a ranking for all these people. By the way,
Yeah,
it's ranking, like
Alan. But he's 2-2 in the UFC. But he did just beat Michael Johnson, which is an impressive win. I don't care, especially from all the way down here. You beat Michael Johnson.
Bobby Green's just taking fights, man. Like,
yeah,
dude,
he fought back 10 spots.
He's trying to get paid.
Yeah. Well, and trying to make a name.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not. It's not like people really know who he is. But you fight 5 times in 5 months.
And also 8-5 and 1 in the UFC.
Did you see that Brad Riddell versus that fight? Did you see that fight with the main event of the prelims?
Yeah,
that's a good fight.
Yeah, it was.
He got grappled for the first round. He came out and beat his ass in the last 2. But that's a Bobby Green's pretty fun to watch fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll watch it.
I feel like.
I mean, look at that picture, dude.
Yeah, he's intense.
I mean, it's scary though, 'cause it's like if you lose to fucking 33, dude, it's like your career. In the UFC is like,
hawked out.
But honestly, the guy kind of deserves the shot after beating Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, how's he 33 by beating Michael Johnson? Maybe Michael Johnson's not ranked at all.
Michael Johnson has to be ranked, right?
He fucking loses all the time. I feel like now.
Can you just
go back behind? You have to go back behind 33 because he's not in the top 20 at all.
That's crazy.
Because he hasn't won. Michael, he's right there.
He's
right
on
a 3-fight losing streak.
That's true.
He's 19 and 16.
Wow, dude.
Like, what the biggest waste of talent I've ever seen. Like, he's the biggest head case.
Realize that,
He was
man.
gonna be good.
Yeah, man. He's 11 and 12 in the UFC.
He has wins over Barboza, Tony Ferguson,
Wow, dude.
Right.
and Poirier.
Like what?
Wow.
Like what?
He knocked out Poirier. He knocked out Poirier.
MMA math. This is why MMA math is never like.
It does not work.
I did not expect him to be 11 and 2 in the UFC. That's crazy.
Wait, no. He's what?
11 and 2 in the UFC, Michael Johnson.
He's not 11-2.
I mean 11 and 12.
Yeah.
11 and
Okay,
12
so
in the
the other
UFC.
two's good.
Yeah, 11 and 12 in the
Yeah,
UFC. That's what I meant.
I feel like he just is a mental fucking midget.
Yeah,
he just
man.
has no mental game.
That's fucking crazy.
His hands, like when he's on, he's so fucking good.
Yeah.
But when he's off, he like gets choked by like fucking random like 145ers and shit. Like I think he lost to Derek. Did he lose to Darren Elkins? I think he did.
It wasn't that long. It just seems like it wasn't that long ago. He lost
contender.
to Khabib, and he was a contender at the
That was
time.
a good.
Oh yeah.
And so now he's like just like.
He was the guy that Khabib was like,
Yeah,
you have to
you
quit.
have to lose.
You have to quit. I'm champ.
And like looking at that win,
And he was like right up there. You know what I mean?
he just knocked out Poirier, which is a good win. It's a good ass win.
It's a great fucking win.
And Poirier's a fucking monster.
That's
So
a huge
crazy.
fall though. Like
Massive fall from grace.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll be rooting for Bobby Green. I don't know. I kind of like him.
Yeah, me too.
Then we got
Not going to Murakami. That's it.
Yeah. So Edison Barboza is going to fight Americani. And I love Edison Barboza.
He's had some bad luck, though, with decision to shit. Because his last 3 fights, I think he's on a 3-fight losing streak, maybe.
Is this lightweight, too?
No, this is 145. He went down, remember?
Oh,
Because I thought he beat DNE. I thought he beat him in that fight.
Yeah, but he didn't actually win, right?
Yeah, but like I thought he...
Yeah.
You know, it was the same Angela Hill card.
Yeah.
Angela Hill fight.
Yeah, those were the two that were bad.
Like, is this guy ranked that he's fighting?
Mr. Finland? That's what his nickname is, which is funny.
Finley?
Yeah, he lost to Gaethje. I thought he beat Felder in that fight, too. Like, that's, I mean, his last 2 fights, he could have beat those dudes.
Yeah.
That was a bad decision, too, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
And he's fighting Murakami, so that's...
Where's he at?
Down.
Maybe top 20.
Jesus.
There he is, 21.
Yeah. All right.
16-4 is a good record, though.
He beats him. It keeps him from falling.
Yeah, but that's a really far fight. They must have paid him to do that.
Well,
to do a fill-in.
Well, he might just need to win,
fill
dude.
in.
Yeah.
He might just need to win at this point.
Yeah, he's like, I
mean, it's true, but like you said, his losses aren't to
they're close losses,
and they're not to chumps. You know what I mean?
Ige's pretty good. He's 8, and then I like to see fucking Barboza and Stevens. I don't know why they haven't fought yet.
Oh, so he was actually supposed to fight number 16, and that dude is actually who fell out of the fight, and so now he's fighting this dude all the way down here. So the other guy's filling in.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. That makes more sense.
Dude, I can't believe Zabit needs to fucking take a main event fight, dude. It's ridiculous. He has only fought 3-rounders.
Right.
He didn't make it a title shot off just fighting 3-rounders.
He's probably going to get the title shot, right?
And he gasses in every 3rd round I've ever seen him in. It's like the Zubara Tukagov guy. He gasses in the 3rd round. Didn't want to fight. I hate that stuff. I hate when people gas in the 3rd round and just try to stall and squeak by with two rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, you're not showing that you can handle championship rounds.
No, you're you're a work in progress still.
Yeah, for
you're
sure.
Not the level.
You shouldn't be.
Completely agree. Especially if you don't have knockout power.
Yeah.
If you have knockout power and you knock people dead, but for some reason if it goes to the 3rd, then you're tired. I understand that more.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're more of a submission artist, really, right?
And he's a wrestler, yeah. And especially at somebody like Volkanovski, who's a cardio machine. Holloway's a cardio machine. Mm-hmm. Those top 2 guys, you cannot. If you're fading in the 3rd round, Holloway's gonna pour it on you bad. You're gonna get your ass beat in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round.
Yeah.
And it's gonna look terrible. So.
Yeah. All right, so
I'm excited to see Barboza fight anybody. Really, I like Barboza.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great fighter. He's fun to watch.
He just has. He takes fucking. He has a hard. Yeah, that's a cool fight.
That's a pretty good fight, right?
Yeah.
Isn't this the dude that came over?
He was in the UFC originally, and he left for a while to base up contract, and then he came back to the UFC from KSW, I think he was fighting in. His nickname used to be the Al Capone.
The Al Capone.
Yeah, that's
a weird nickname.
Yeah, that's like a bad mistranslation of some actual nickname. It's
right.
some nickname that they fucked up the translation somewhere. But that's pretty okay fight. Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah,
Johnny Walker by decision. I don't know why Souza's in the top 10. By the way, he's not even won. His last win was fucking Weidman at middleweight. So why is he top 10 at fucking?
The only thing he did at light heavy was lose to Jan.
And you have no wins and 1 loss. You should be not even ranked.
Again, we might actually be on the hunt for a new ranking site.
I just feel like everybody's going to have him just because it's he's in the division and he was a good middleweight.
But look at these guys. These guys have definitely better wins. They
have a win.
And they're against, pretty good people.
Yeah, I don't rate Johnny Walker pretty high, but that the Johnny Walker win is better than a loss in a fight that wasn't even close.
Yeah, and Johnny Walker's still ranked 12, and probably at the time he was probably ranked 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, it's so weird.
Or St. Preux, who's actually he has some wins and losses. That's more indicative of a higher ranking.
Or Ozdemir, who just beat Rakic.
Yeah, how is Souza ahead of
what are we talking about right now?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, Souza should be at ranked middleweight. That's it.
I don't know why
Anthony
he's
Smith
ranked
probably shouldn't be ahead of Ozdemir.
No.
Right?
It's
he beat Ozdemir by submission. Remember?
Oh yeah,
but that was so long ago.
Yeah, and he just fucking lost to to Rakic, who Ozdemir beat.
Right.
Oh, well.
It's all fucking screwy.
This one is. I guess this isn't as bad, except for the Ronald Souza.
There's-
Souza should not be there.
There's no way. Well, it's just like there's no way to quantify these rankings. Whenever people fight at different frequencies, so if someone's fighting more and winning, and someone and you beat them already,
Yeah.
it's like, well,
It's hard to judge what they've done since they fought you.
right? It's
Yeah,
like Jan.
unless it was like a fight or two ago.
It's like Jan should be higher than Santos, even though Santos knocked out Jan. You know what I mean? It's just like he's a champion
Jan
now,
has to be now.
and
so.
like he put that work in. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, he's been working while you've been silent with injury. You can't fault him for that.
But I think that's a good fight.
Yeah.
I think that'll be fun to watch.
Another instance was whenever RDA lost to Khabib, and Khabib sat out with injury forever, and then RDA eventually won the title. Like, yeah, he fucking was working while you sat with injury, so he got better or whatever, and they work in the division.
Yeah.
I thought it's important to keep fighting. I feel like these fighters need to fucking fight,
keep
dude.
fighting.
It's like 145. No one fights that division.
I honest to God think you should fight at least 2 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think you have to.
One time, and like just to keep your skills sharp, dude. You can't be sitting out all year not fighting.
Right.
And like, don't you want a paycheck? Fuck.
Right. Like,
I mean, 3 times a year, I think, is the pace you should aim for. But yeah,
but I'm
I can
respectful of
understand-
2. I'm
yeah.
respectful of 2.
Yeah, well,
2
I can
times a year?
understand there are situations that lead to like, I only got in 2 this year, but like
Well,
3 should be what you're aiming for.
Especially right now, we might have guys that fight 4 or 5 times this year
Yeah.
Right. And like you look at Izzy.
and win.
But like, I mean, if you're a reigning champ who's like kind of getting close to cleaning out division, okay, 2 fights in a year, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But like,
I just don't think anybody should only be fighting once a year.
Especially if you're on the up and up. If you're somebody like fucking like the beat, dude, you should be fighting as much as possible, especially if your cardio is bad.
Yeah.
Putting in the work and showing, it's like you look at Izzy. Izzy climbed the rankings in 2 years and became champion just because he fought so often.
Right. He fought like what, 4 times?
Yeah, in his first year he fought 4 times and
Yeah.
he was champion in a year and
and
a
I
half.
mean, since he's been
Look at Donald
champion-
Cerrone. Donald Cerrone is basically still relevant because he fights 4 or 5 times a year.
And you can't really hold any certain loss against him because you fight so often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You forget about it because he's already
Yeah.
fought 3 times. Since
Like,
then.
honestly, if he didn't fight 4 or 5 times a year, he might have had a better career.
Yeah.
Like, if he only fought 3.
And you look at somebody like Brian Ortega, it's taken 2 years to fight again. Like,
Yeah.
dude, this is your prime years. You're like 30. Like, where are you?
Coming off of a devastating loss.
Yeah, you need to get back
Like-
in there in fucking April. If you
Yeah.
lost in December, like that, get back in May. You know?
Yeah.
Take some time off, few months of.
Try to get your mind right, figure out what you can do better, and then get back in there.
But
Yeah.
I mean, Adesanya, credit to him, dude. Even since winning that title, hasn't really slowed down much.
No,
like,
not really.
That's why I like it's like calling out the next dude. You already have your next fucking job, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You call out Cannonier as soon as you beat somebody. He did every win he does that.
He's about to. I mean, he's put himself in. He's like the UFC's golden boy right now. You know what I mean? Like Dana loves that guy right now. Like
Yeah.
you're just lining him up, dude, and not
He-
bitching about any of it.
He would have been higher for me had he not humped Paulo Costa
But
after the fight.
See, like you say that, but dude, how many times is that going to be made into a GIF or
Yeah.
a GIF or whatever? How many,
Yeah, but I don't think it's a good look.
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's like kind of Costa kind of
Israel Raw Dog Adesanya.
Like Costa kind of earned it though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, he's trolled him the whole time.
I mean, you could have done something
You know
to
he's-
troll him, but that seems like a weird one.
yeah.
he said,
Especially when you came out there with a boob.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just.
well,
I would rather I'd rather him hump me than like put on that performance he just put on against me. Like
yeah,
I
mean,
like
all of it together.
I could deal with that humping, but you just whipped my ass. Like it made me look like nobody.
Yeah.
And then he said afterward, I think he said to somebody like in the cage, like, I have a black belt for wrap my dick around my waist. That's what he said.
He is a different breed of human.
I feel like he understands though, like how fast and how like soundbite and how mem-worthy things are, and like he's aware that like if you hump somebody in the cage after you fuck them up like that, that shit's gonna play in people's minds and sort of a heel turn.
It was
you know what I mean?
It was the main highlight that they played after the fight.
Well,
It
he
was
rides
crazy.
that
They showed it
line,
like
though.
4 or 5 times.
like how many more followers is he gonna get on Instagram?
He
after
rides that line of
Yeah.
like heel and good guy though. Like
where you can
know what I
root
mean?
for him, but
He'll
also you can feel like he's
he
cringy
said
and
one
kind of
thing
heely.
that's like, oh, that's really honorable, and like
I don't think he's actually cringy though. I think
No.
he's just
he's kind of awkward though.
Sometimes
like,
he's awkward,
he's-
but it's not cringy to me.
like sometimes his
because he's
humor.
weird. He's
his-
just weird.
Sometimes his humor doesn't land well. Like it's just like
Yeah.
or you would have to know.
But I don't
some
think
niche shit that he's talking
right.
about.
But I don't think any of it's fake though.
No.
I think
No,
he's really
he-
is just
no,
being
that's
him.
genuinely him.
Yeah.
And that's like people. I read online. People were like, oh, he's fucking more despicable than Colby and like Jones and all that. I'm like, dude, he humped him in the cage after he beat him. That's like classless.
Those people are racist.
Yeah, but like, I don't think Adesanya is a bad dude.
No.
Like Jones actually seems like a sociopath.
Yes.
Like,
I'm pretty sure Jones is a sociopath.
Yeah, and like and Jones, has done actual like crimes. You know,
like quite a few. Like I'm not really sure
With
how
victims.
he hasn't done actual
I think
actual
Adesanya
time.
is a good person, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think Adesanya is a good person.
I think he's petty as fuck, and I think that like that doesn't affect his
He's a
performances.
troll in a lot of ways.
And
but-
like I read that I've seen a post on Instagram today. Like there's a black and white photo of him punching on Costa, and then he put like mounted by a white belt. So he's petty. But like only if you deserve it. Like I don't think he was that petty to Robert when he knocked him out. He called him on some shit and said, "I knew I was gonna do this."
Yeah,
but
right.
you have
he
to be
pretty respectful.
You have to be sort of like fucking. You have to be that mindset to be a champion. Though you just
You
have
have to be very confident. You have to.
Yeah, like you're not gonna get there
Like-
without being like that.
Like Anderson Silva may not have done it with his words, but he did it with his actions in the cage.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful
Yeah.
in the cage.
Yeah, and you have to act like.
And it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right, and like if you act like he's like the way he treated Stephan Bonner, and like it wasn't like ill will towards Stephan Bonner, dude, but
No.
it just wasn't supposed to be in the
But
cage
I
with him.
mean, it's like he gave you a chance. He said, "Come on, I'll put my back against this cage. Let's go. Like, come on,
Right.
attack." And
That's-
then he got fucked up.
That's what a lot of people don't realize about Anderson Silva. The first round was usually about figuring out people's timing.
Right.
That's why some of the silliness took place. Also, the silliness took place to an extreme level with people he did not feel belonged
Yeah.
with him in
Right.
the cage.
Yeah, he's just like, "Come on." Dude.
And most of the time he was right.
How do you think Silva would have matched up against the current like middleweights? I feel like he could have.
Adesanya. I mean, we've seen it, but we didn't
See
see
the
it.
prime.
You mean
for
in his
prime.
prime?
I just feel like someone like Romero, like that's a hard fight for any middleweight ever. Even
But
prime Silva.
Adesanya right now versus Prime Anderson Silva,
That's a
man,
close-ass
that's a good
fight.
ass
That's
fight.
a close ass fight. But against the rest of the middleweight division, I like his chances.
Yeah.
I still think he's top 5.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still think he front kicks Costa right in the teeth. Like,
But I feel like the Romero that fought Adesanya, dude, if he did that to Silva, it wouldn't look that much different.
no,
Because like Silva put on stingers against Maya.
it's
With
the
Maya,
same shit.
yeah, like if he didn't engage with Silva in the same way, Silva would
Right.
have a hard time
It
opening
might,
up.
it might not look that much different, but I also think he probably would have won the same
Yeah,
way.
me too.
That's what I mean.
He would've picked him for a little
Adesanya is
bit.
going to be
Yeah.
beloved because it's just like we got our Silva back.
Yeah.
Like, we got him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I like that Adesanya in his post-fight in the ring interview, he said,
carrying the legacy.
Anderson Silva created such a legacy for the middleweight division. I just want the middleweight division to be great again.
Yeah.
And I
he's
thought that was
doing
cool.
it, man.
He
I
for
mean,
sure is.
Because you look at like this in comparison to like somebody like Connor, not to bring up Connor again, but like you just notice like Adesanya knows what actually is cemented. You know what I mean?
Was-
But
yeah.
Adesanya, there's
He knows how to cement a
there was
legacy.
an aura about Silva that isn't quite there with Adesanya.
No, he's more hittable,
Yeah,
had more
like,
trouble.
Silva just had this aura of invincibility that was like,
Well, because he is less hittable than Adesanya.
yeah,
He really is. Like when Silva in his prime, the way he would move out of punches, like you would actually before you saw the replay think that the guy landed the punch, but then you see the replay and
he
Anderson
rolled
Silva's
right
like
out of it.
looking at his fist going that way.
Right.
They're like, oh, that was crazy,
Yeah.
and then hit him in the face.
yeah, he rolled right out of it. Like.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Damn,
too.
I thought that punch landed.
But there's just something with Silva fight, like there was just this electrifying thing about it that it isn't quite there yet with the Adesanya. I think it's getting there.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know, man. Like Silva, there's just something about Silva.
It was the best head movement we've ever seen in the UFC.
And it also, like thinking about it too, it's like you just gotta think about how dramatic you can make your head movement be. Whenever like it's just I'm not shitting on Silva, but like Chris Lieben, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like I think Adesanya would school him and like fucking
Yeah,
clown
yeah.
him too. Like it just the level of opposition too. Like would the Kelvin that fought Adesanya, I think Silva would beat him too.
Yeah.
Would he give Silva fits with his boxing and head movement
Yeah.
and his
But he
entries?
gave Adesanya fits.
That's what I mean. Like would I think he'd also give Prime Silva fits?
Yeah.
I think that it's just the level's gotten higher a little bit in the middleweight division, and not as often as like I feel like light heavyweight it hasn't got that much dramatically higher, but middleweight though, like
Middleweight's
those
better,
dudes
yeah.
were like Travis Luter, like
Yeah.
who the fuck is that dude? Like
Yeah.
it's like that was he was the man right
Yeah.
then, but like
But I think Adesanya is like right there, skill level wise with Silva. It's just like he is facing
like,
tougher competition.
I feel like the only people that like really match up is like I feel like Silva's best wins are Prime Chael Sonnen, Juicy,
Vitor
fucking
is a good
yeah,
one.
Vitor or Dan Henderson. Those are his best wins, I feel like.
I think Rich Franklin at the time was a fucking crazy
Right.
win.
A
fucking crazy win.
Mark Quart is pretty good.
Yeah, there's like he has good wins, but then he has like it's like James Irvin. Like, was he a good light heavyweight? I don't think he was.
He
even
just had knockout power.
Yeah, like he was just like rudimentary brawler, heavy-handed knockout light heavyweight.
But Forrest Griffin, former champion. But we discussed
Wonder what
that.
Chael Sonnen would do.
Honestly, Yushin Okami. I don't care. He was good, man. I mean,
he was good.
He never broke the plane, but he was a good fucking fighter.
I wonder what Chael Sonnen would do to Adesanya, prime Chael Sonnen. Like,
I feel like
would he be able to get him on his back like he did Silva for 4.5 straight
Because
rounds?
if he did get him on his back, I think it would actually be.
That's how you got.
I think Silva's better off of his back than Adesanya.
Well, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. Nobody's really put Adesanya on his back. What's he gonna look like there? Can anybody do it? Like,
but like I feel like Adesanya has better takedown defense.
Yeah, he does.
Like Silva got taken down pretty easily.
Yeah,
in his career.
like actually, if you think about it, he did get taken down quite.
He did, but he got up well,
Yeah.
except for Chael Sonnen,
Right.
and
that was prime steroids.
Adesanya seems harder to take
and he
down.
finished a lot of people from his back.
I feel like Silva didn't work as hard. Like he accepted takedowns easier. I don't know if his takedown defense was like worse, but he didn't care about being off his back eventually.
He wasn't fighting.
I think here's the other thing we have to say about Silva's run. Like, you say like some of these people were like, really, that's who you're fighting, but KO, submission,
highlight,
KO,
killed him,
KO,
right.
submission,
Right, yeah,
KO,
like,
KO,
impressive.
one decision, KO, decision,
and like the Maya
submission,
decision was
KO,
him dicking
KO.
around. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah, like I mean, his worst wins the Maya win,
KO,
and probably.
KO.
And I feel like his worst performances are the Maya performance and probably.
But out of his own volition, you know what I mean? Like not because of the opponent, because he was just like, I'm bored with this.
Yeah,
and like also
the only people he didn't finish were Leitz and
that
and
fight was
Maya.
pretty boring too,
right?
if I remember correctly, right? But like,
so that's the other thing.
Well, the ladies' fight, that was the period where Dana was like pissed at him about the ladies' fight, and then he did the same thing in Maya, and he's like, why does he keep doing this shit?
and then also getting control by Chael Sonnen for 4 rounds of winning is impressive. Like winning in the 5th round,
Yeah.
that's impressive comeback.
Yeah.
But
Why
he didn't look that good, and like it was like a Hail Mary sub he won,
But-
which is fine.
But he came back and avenged that loss.
Well, and not just
Easy
that.
too,
I don't
yeah.
know. Did you ever watch the documentary Like Water from Anderson Silva?
Yeah.
It was the lead up to that fight. He said the whole time during the training for that he was going to beat him by submission.
Right. Well, because he wanted to do it for the Nogueira brothers.
Yeah,
Right?
and he said it the whole time, and that's what he did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you can't think that he waited that long. Like you
That's
were having
that's
trouble
skin the
there,
teeth.
buddy.
I don't think he waited that long. I think it was when he had the opportunity.
Yeah, but
I'm not
he
saying
cut
that.
it pretty close there.
But-
dog.
Yeah, like
but-
you were really.
But if
close
he wanted to
losing.
win by submission,
Yeah.
did he sometimes let himself get put in bad positions?
Why would you though?
I mean, it's just like
Because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, but 4 rounds in, you're still. It's like,
do
man,
it in the
you
first
can't-
round, dude.
Yeah.
While
Well,
they're not sweating.
and then look at the second fight against Chael Sonnen when he didn't say he
Yeah.
was going to win by submission.
Yeah.
Right.
He fucking ate
Well,
him alive.
Chael also wasn't eating steroids the second time.
Yeah, I
around
feel
either.
like Chael's weird. It's hard to gauge his talent level because he's like he folds pretty fucking easy, dude.
Folds really easy.
Like if he's not winning, he folds. Like Rashad folded him.
Yeah.
You got Fedor folded him. Most people like Machida folded him.
He's
It
just
just,
late though.
and like it's just a sort of a
He
steroid.
was just a really strong wrestler,
And that's
which
it.
the steroids helped
I
a
just-
lot with.
I just feel like
I love Chael though.
I like him as a personality more than I
He's
like him as a
great.
fighter. He's not that exciting as a fighter. He's
No,
actually
but
really boring.
I would listen to him talk about anything.
I just feel like Adesanya probably could do all this to them as Silva probably did it, maybe not in the same fashion. He beat all these guys. Like Prime Henderson would fucking an overhand right is not going to beat Adesanya. It just
Yeah,
isn't.
he's
Yeah.
missing
No matter
it every time.
Right, and like I feel like the Silva
But a
can also beat everybody that Adesanya beat.
But
you know what I
also,
mean?
Prime Henderson had a fucking rock solid chin, and Adesanya is not going to submit him. So, might have been a decision.
But dude, I think
He
that
could knock him out.
dude, there's no way that I feel
But-
like Adesanya could knock out probably any middleweight ever, just
Yeah.
based on his precision and speed. It just like
I think
He's
he has
gonna-
the ability to, but he
he could
doesn't.
overwhelm you.
I think he has the ability to, but he doesn't.
right. I mean, it's just like it depends
Yeah.
how many openings. But like you realize how tight, like Henderson's striking isn't tight. It
No.
just was. It just like people are more tight now, and like there's smaller openings. I feel
It
like
was
now.
actually funny to watch him throw leg kicks.
Because it's like stiff as fuck, like a mummy. Yeah.
It's like his whole spine was fused together.
Right. That's what I mean. Like you look up at how dramatic and how wide, like leaving punches versus Silva. Like it's just like the most
Yeah.
rudimentary, 1-2 combinations and the slowest, widest, like blocky punches. And like people are more tight now. I feel like it's like skill level wise, it's gotten higher, so that's why it's closer fights. You know?
I do agree, and maybe Silva would have some closer fights today. But if you think about it, when you say that, well, these guys weren't anywhere near the level that the fighters are today. Well, and that's how Anderson Silva made them look.
I agree. Yeah,
he made them look like they didn't belong fighting
a lot of those guys
in middleweight
would be
division.
In the top 10 mix right now. You know what I mean? If they were prime.
But like you compare someone like Kelvin versus like a Lieben, or Kelvin even
right,
versus
but that
like
was also his first win in the UFC.
or like Kelvin versus like say Patrick Cote. Pretty deep in his, like he's a better striker than Patrick Cote. He'd fucking knock him out probably.
Yeah,
Kelvin has heavy hands.
That was light heavyweight, right?
No, that was a middleweight.
Cote was middleweight. Cote had a kind of a heavy right hand, but was really a kind of a ground guy, right?
He was I think he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but also he was like a heavy-handed brawler sort of guy.
He had a heavy hand. He
was doing pretty. It was competitive until the leg injury. I think it was like he didn't blow Cote out of the water. I think he injured his leg in the second round. I believe that's how he lost to Silva.
Yeah.
So it was like a sort of unfinished business sort of fight, but no one cared enough about Cote to run it back.
Yeah.
He was going to win. He was going to beat Cote.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he had his number.
But I do just think Anderson Silva showed that he would be competitive and maybe still the best.
I agree, yeah.
Because of how he beat those guys.
Right.
That's if you're one of the best of all time, that's how you should have beat that competition.
Right.
And they were the best in the division at the time.
Yeah.
It's not like he was the champion and he was fighting number 12.
Yeah.
No, if Silva was in his prime right now, it'd be Silva versus Adesanya.
Right. But like I said, I just don't think he wouldn't have matrix performances against Romero. He just wouldn't, because Romero is fucking fast, hits like a truck and like a tank.
It probably looked like Adesanya fight.
Yeah, like if Romero stood there as a shell, as a Ninja Turtle, and fucking stood there a mountain of muscle.
Yeah.
Silva wouldn't have much to work with either. He just wouldn't.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, same style of
so
fight.
I just feel like, they're pretty similar skill set wise as far as what they could do in that division at any point in time. It just Silva did it longer. You know what I mean?
But the strikes that Adesanya was throwing last night, I think there's more power there than
Silva's more precise.
Yeah, like I think Adesanya has more power than anybody's giving him credit for.
Yeah, that's
especially now.
It's weird when people are like why bring up how skinny he is when he's like literally just fucking starching.
Shots seem to hurt.
Like
man.
who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like even
it's not like John Jones is like a
huge.
big meaty guy. Like he's pretty skinny for a light heavyweight, but he fucks people up.
Hamzat
Used to.
tweeted like, "Give me that skinny guy." Like, dude, you're skinny too at middleweight.
Yeah.
Like you're not that big.
Yeah, you're not that big for middleweight.
Yeah, like you're not gonna tower over him like Costa. Like Costa's huge, but like to what detriment is your body?
It's interesting though. Khamzat, I think if Khamzat, I obviously think he needs more wins, but if he won a couple more in top 10 or something, he would immediately be like the most interesting fight for somebody like.
Because it's wrestling.
Yeah, because it's like, can he put him on his back and just beat him up? Like, and that's the only way I see anybody being able to beat Adesanya. Whether anybody can even get in and do that, I don't know. But I think the only way you are going to beat Adesanya is to throw him on his back and beat him up.
Right. Because that actually is the other thing, maybe, is the fact that Adesanya is also leaps and bounds above everybody in striking in the middleweight division.
Yeah, and he keeps the distance so well, it's like they can't get in on him. But if Khamzat is everything he's cracked up to be and like can do whatever he wants at middleweight too, then that's the only way to beat
if he can grab him up.
Yeah,
if he can grab him up,
if he could throw you on your back and beat you up, then he can do that.
And I don't see any jiu-jitsu coming from Adesanya.
But like
we don't really know.
It's hard to. You can't knock on somebody who's been so good that he hasn't had to use it. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no indication that he's gonna do that.
I know that the things I've seen against him, he's gotten better on the ground. He got controlled by Marvin Vettori in his second UFC fight, and then he scrambles well and doesn't accept positions, and like he immediately threw up a triangle on Kelvin instantly and was fighting offensively, which doesn't show it shows that he's willing to fight off his back faster, as fast as he gets there, which is a good sign to me. Doesn't show much against like a high level black belt or whatever it's going to be, but we don't know like how good the guys that Khamzat fought on the ground were either. Like we don't know.
Right.
Like in my head,
there's a lot of questions with Khamzat, but like I said, if he comes in and smashes 2 top 10 guys, then you're looking at like, wow, well maybe he could.
And we're actually going to get into him here in just a second.
Yeah.
So let's go to this one. Skidding ex-champ Robbie Lawler meets returning Mike Perry at UFC 2.
I hope Robbie Lawler wins it and retires.
Yeah.
I agreed.
Yeah.
I don't know what Robbie Lawler's going to do, but this is a fun fight. I hope Robbie Lawler wins a nice brawl, the God of War, and then gets out of there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hope so.
I just like, dude, pull the trigger, dude. Fucking punch more.
Yeah,
Do something.
Especially Mike Perry. Just punch him in the face a lot, man.
This is actually one of the better matchups for Lawler because Mike Perry isn't skilled that
I think
anywhere.
he can win it.
Yeah, they're just going to brawl.
If he gets knocked out, that's going to be the saddest knockout of the year, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Either way, yeah, it's like if you get knocked out by Mike Perry, it's probably time to retire. If you knock him out, you should probably walk off into the sunset and retire.
Then we have this fight is rescheduled again. Obviously, we talked about it a couple times. Third time's a charm. Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira.
Why is it so fucking long from now, dude? God damn, dude.
It's not that long.
But they've been trying to fight for 2 months already, so it's like it seems longer than it is.
Drew, why didn't you just make this the headliner of next week?
Yeah, that would be the
Well, it was the co-main until the COVID hit again, remember?
Yeah.
What is this headline in
Just a fight night card, yeah.
Okay, well that's awesome though.
Yeah,
that should be 5 rounds.
It's awesome we get to watch that for free.
And it will be 5 rounds, right?
Yeah.
It's a main event.
I feel like any sort of like number one contendership fight, even if it's not officially said that to be, it should be 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Like
even if it's a co-main.
Yeah, I feel like they should start making like.
It's actually a good idea. Like
if
you announce that this is the winner of this gets the title shot, it should be 5 rounds because that you're gonna show to us that you can go into a 5-round fight
and at least perform and see.
Hell,
if
I think they should move to just co-mains or 5 rounds too. Like.
Yeah.
I think that trial by trial basis though, because then you have something like Kama Worthy.
Yeah.
Fighting 5 rounds. You know what I mean? I think they could
we
set
have
up
the option to,
but still, I think still do it because who cares if it's a 5-round fight or not? I mean, if he gasses, it shows us what's going on.
Yeah.
If he gets knocked out quick, that doesn't change the fact that it was a
5 or
5-round
3,
fight.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, there's a lot.
It just seemed prestige wise.
Making fighters fight a lot more 5-round fights in their career. It's not really the greatest thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot more fight miles. They're hesitant to add 5
Could
rounds.
be a lot more fight miles. Could be first round knockout.
Yeah, but
I
could see the hesitance in making guys fight more 5-round.
I think it's also especially like really, it's really important though. Like you have somebody like the Tony versus Poirier fight that's supposed to happen on the Khabib versus Justin fight card. That's like, well, that should be 5 rounds too. Because first of all, I don't want to see Ferguson in a 3-round fight ever. I feel like he should always be 5 rounds, just based off of who he is. I don't ever want to see that. That fight should be 5 rounds, just the stature of it.
There's some fighters where it's like, no, this guy should always fight 5 rounds.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
and also too, you have a contender lined up in case somebody pulls out of that fight. And if you have a 5-round fight,
should be getting ready for a 5-round
you have
fight
2
just
people
in case.
getting ready for the same thing. 4 people getting ready for the same thing, and whoever falls out or whatever, you could step up fucking Poirier or Ferguson right in that main event, and he's training for that already. He's training for the same conditions he'd be fighting if he stepped up on short notice. So it makes more sense in those situations, but it has to be like a trial by trial basis. It can't be a blanket 5-round co-main event.
You have to maybe just like we have the option of making every co-main a 5-round if we choose.
Yeah.
There's so many fights though where I'm like, man, that was just heating up.
Right.
Round 3, like.
Well, and speaking of the Poirier versus Tony fight falling out, Dan Hooker is wanting to welcome Michael Chandler to the UFC and send him back to the
I think that's the
B-Leagues.
fight anyway.
Well, and why
Like,
not put that on that card? That way they're both preparing. They're preparing for a fight anyway.
That's
Make
a
it 5
fight.
rounds.
And then
That's a banger fight.
Yeah, and then if one of them does fall out, then then Chandler goes up and fights for the title.
I mean,
You know
I
what
originally thought that like Michael Chandler coming in, I should fight somebody like Dan Hooker. I just thought that was where he should be anyway.
Because like he got knocked out like 2 fights ago.
And it gives somebody that's not like number 1 or 2 an interesting fucking fight. That's like you could sell that fight. Like, oh, Michael Chandler's coming in.
Right.
We're gonna see how he is against a guy like Dan Hooker. Cool.
Yeah,
Like
perfect.
It's sort of
at least give him a fight to also train for while he's fucking.
Let him fight too.
Yeah, if the championship fight doesn't fall out, then let him go ahead and fight.
I feel like this is a way of fucking over Ferg and Poirier, not paying them what they wanted to pay, what they wanted for that fight. I feel like Chandler was a way to fuck him over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like, oh fuck you, I'm gonna sign Chandler for this amount of money. You guys have no power in the situation.
Dana, he knew he already had that in the bag whenever he went to the Peoria
negotiations. Yeah, so it's like it's not skeezy, but it's just like fuck. It's like a fucking political. It seems like more like a political move too than actually like a deserving. Like because Chandler doesn't deserve to fight for the title.
He might not have deserved to fight for the Bellator title.
Right. I mean, he like won 2 fights and he got knocked out by Pitbull.
Right.
So like you look at somebody like Will Brooks who came over and washed out instantly, and he has wins over Chandler.
Yeah.
And he went 1-on-1 with Will Brooks.
Yeah.
So like you just don't. you don't think like.
Well, it just really the record of people coming from Bellator
ain't that good.
It's
Well, I
not
think
very
you have to
good.
test
Eddie
these
Alvarez
guys.
was the only one, and then he got demolished by Conor McGregor.
So I think you have to test these guys again. Let's put him against Dan Hooker, see how he does.
Top
Yeah.
5, but that's it.
That's what
Maybe
you-
top
Now,
10.
am I upset
You're
about
lucky
him
to get
being?
that.
Am I upset about him being the backup for that fight?
Not
No,
really.
only because they're not going to make the Poirier Ferguson fight. But so I'm not upset about it. Like, okay, fuck it, throw him in there
Right.
because I would like to have a backup for that fight regardless. If that fight just got canceled, I don't know how interested I am in that card.
He wants to send him back to the B leagues.
Well, it's true though. Like,
You
dude,
bitch.
it's different though. Like, you use the level of competition in the UFC. Like, Dan Hooker ain't the best lightweight, but he's a fucking good lightweight, dude. And like, he'd probably be champion in Bellator.
Honestly,
He could be champion in
It's
Bellator.
like you should
I-
acknowledge that coming in. Like,
I think-
I'm stepping into a different realm now.
I think
Yeah.
Chandler's pretty honest about that. I've read
Yeah.
interviews with him. He said that he wants to prove himself against the UFC fighters.
I
so.
think a big problem with people coming over is not only maybe they underestimate the level of competition difference, which we all think is there,
Yeah.
but also the production.
Yeah.
There's way more going on. There's more fans. There's more production value.
Yeah.
There's all of it.
Can
you know
you
what I mean?
handle
It's just
the-
a bigger
the-
scene.
Yeah.
You
Can
know?
you handle the epicness of the whole situation? or
Right.
whatever?
And the slaughter testing too got to be a question mark when it comes to people coming over.
Especially Chandler.
Who's fucking jacked.
Yeah, and the guy who also washed out pretty quickly.
Lombard?
Lombard. Yeah.
Well, Lombard is like fucking. That's a sad.
Yeah.
He's an asshole, anyways. I heard that.
You're an asshole, dude.
I'm an asshole as well.
Jeez.
I feel like somebody else just signed a bare knuckle fighting.
Oh,
Somebody crazy.
Frank
Paige
Mir.
Van Zandt.
Frank
Frank
Mir.
Mir. Yep. God,
That's
Oh.
fucking sad as hell.
sad. Like that's not even what you do, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
earned
just-
enough money. Just go home. Dude.
yeah.
He
And
probably hasn't earned enough money.
I
He
guess
probably
so.
is fucking.
But he could be a commentator anywhere. He's done it
He's
before.
good. Yeah. He can
Alright.
commentate for Bellator.
Yeah. So then next one is Dana White
Thank
says
God,
Colby
dude.
Covington likely next for Jorge
That's
Masvidal.
such a better fight. Anyway.
Such a better fight. None of
Yeah.
us wanted to see
But they're
this fight.
you know they're both Trump boys though, right?
yeah,
Jorge
I
is
know
a
that.
Trump.
Yeah, he's Trump.
like,
He's an
Trumper.
anti-socialist Cuban. You know,
Yeah.
like that. Like, oh,
Right.
my dad came
Yeah.
over on a ship and
Yeah.
faced communism in Cuba.
Right. Still seems weird.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I wonder
But-
how mad. I wonder if that gets in Colby's crawl. They're like, oh, you like the Cuban guy?
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. He'll start saying like, start talking about illegal
You don't deserve
immigrants.
to be Trump's lap boy.
You don't deserve to be in America.
Like I go on. I see like him post on Instagram and like whenever he posts about Trump, people are always like, how the fuck do you know? People are like flaming him in the comments about supporting Trump, and it's just like, I mean, I see why he supports.
Yeah, because everybody freaks out and it gives them a bunch of views.
But we all like this fight better than the Nick Diaz fight. And
I don't
also,
like. I wish the Diaz brothers would just retire
Yeah.
or fight each other.
It's
like
just
we
better.
said.
fighting each other would be so
Yeah.
much
It's
fun.
better for rankings. It's better for title picture. It's better for everything.
Better for Colby Covington, better for Jorge Masvidal,
Yeah.
and I kind of like the matchup for Jorge Masvidal, to be
I think
honest.
Masvidal could do well against Colby.
He
Yeah.
should.
I think he really can.
That wrestling like Usman had on him ain't gonna be like that. I mean, it'll be there. But
Colby doesn't really it's weird. Colby doesn't even really wrestle much.
presses you.
He presses, but he sort of clinches more than he
Right.
wrestles.
But he's not going to be able to do. I don't think like we said before, he's like a weaker version of Usman.
Yeah.
And Jorge Masvidal handled the pressure of
Pretty
Usman
well.
pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, he got
Comparatively.
dominated. He lost the fight, but
Yeah.
he handled it well. He didn't take damage.
No.
You know what I mean? Didn't take any
And when he
damage.
was able to get out, he was firing like hellish shots. But
Yeah.
And the storyline behind this fight is a lot better than any storyline. Like there's no storyline with Diaz and Masvidal. There's no unfinished business. He beat Diaz. He was beating the shit out of him. That was it.
They actually
He's
have
gonna
no
win.
ill will towards each other.
Yeah,
they
they-
like each other.
They're just like the BMF thing has disintegrated since like Usman beat Masvidal for me.
Yeah.
Like it's just like he's
Yeah.
up. It's just the luster his streak has ended. There's no BMF there for me.
I truthfully think that they should have. It should be a background thing, kind of like the hardcore title in WWE. Like nobody really cares about it, but it does change hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they should have done that.
Right.
Yeah.
I really do.
Or you defend it anyway.
But if
yeah, defend it anywhere.
if Jorge
If that's the case, Jorge Masvidal should have it because
Yeah.
he'll punch somebody anywhere.
Right.
if he beats if Jorge beats Colby, you could still do that Diaz fight after.
or
you know.
I think it'd
gotta
be
get a
title shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full
I
camp.
don't know.
Full camp.
Yeah.
Full
I
camp
guess.
title shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. You can't take away from Jorge Masvidal in that Usman fight. One, because he nullified what Usman's game plan wanted to be, and he did it on short notice.
Supposedly he had longer training camp than people.
I think he did too.
But you still weren't planning for a fucking Kamaru Usman fight.
Right.
You know
I feel like he could do better in a rematch, but I don't know if it goes. I feel like Usman could do better
wins,
too.
I think.
Yeah, I do feel like Usman. There's a good chance Usman still wins that fight. I believe that's probably what happens.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a better all-around fight.
Dude, I actually am kind of rooting for Burns to beat Usman.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I am. I like Usman, but I feel like Burns is a lot more dynamic as a fighter.
Might be more fun to watch up there.
Yeah, it's just
and
like
mix it up.
I feel like Usman's great. He's like, it's weird because like Usman probably is like one of the best welterweights ever in terms of like skills.
Mm-hmm.
He just is like a fucking. He's hard to beat.
Definitely has a better case for it than Woodley.
Yeah.
Who
His case
self-appointed
diminished,
king of welterweight.
Yeah, Woodley's the best welterweight ever. He just has to show it.
Looking back though, Woodley, it's just like it's not as impressive as we thought when we were in the midst of his championship.
Especially the performances too.
Yeah.
Like it just like
A lot of lackluster performances.
yeah, like you should bomb out Maya. There's no way you should let Maya go to decision for the belt.
I mean, I'm
That's
not
fucking
rooting for
insane.
Burns to beat Usman in that, like, if anybody's going to beat Usman, I'd want it to be Masvidal.
Yeah.
But, like, if it ain't going to be Masvidal,
You just
I
want to see
kind
that
of...
belt at Trump's office, right?
if it's not going to be Masvidal, I kind of want to see Usman, like, be the monster he is and just keep fucking...
I will say Jorge Masvidal, whether or not he's a Trump fan or not, he's not giving anybody that fucking belt.
No. Dude, you know what's crazy? I was watching Chael Sonnen earlier today, and he had a video about Adesanya versus Costa. And dude, I like Chael, and I usually agree with him. He said the worst matchups for Adesanya going forward. He literally said this. He had a white fucking...
whiteboard?
Yeah. He said, Tyron Woodley and Chris Weidman.
What?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, dude, Chael, just because you're old doesn't mean, like...
The fighters
old
in your
fighters-
generation. Yeah,
so
like-
he's like Biden.
Yeah, it's like...
He doesn't know what's going on.
And like I couldn't imagine with Woodley backing its defense with like fucking Adesanya trying to close the distance against Adesanya and do
God,
something to him.
He doesn't even throw punches.
Right, he would just get fucking leg kicked. His leg would be destroyed, mangled.
Actually, it'd be exactly what just happened.
Against the fence though.
Yeah. Like what the fuck are we talking
And then
about?
Weidman would just get knocked out fast.
Yeah.
Would you
3
wrestle?
punches?
Why is Woodley... Like, Woodley's not even the middleweight.
He looks small for welterweight in his last
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
He didn't look big for the division.
No.
He's
Because
like,
he's kind of short.
he's
Like,
like
short's
5'9",
not
72-inch reach.
Yeah, but he's just got he can
He was
definitely
jacked.
be heavy because he's jacked.
Yeah, he was jacked. He looked smaller than he used to look.
Yeah.
I feel like he's lost a lot of muscle.
Tell Chael he's...
But yeah, like
idiot
Chael,
on
like
that
dude, that ain't it, bro. Maybe Usman if he went up, maybe that'd be a good competitive fight. They would never fight because I think they're friends.
Yeah.
But like even Usman would be small. I'd be like, he looks small for fucking middleweight, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
No, like Hamzat's the only person I could see because like you don't know. Like I've never seen Woodley at middleweight, dude. I don't know why would anyone expect him to do well.
Kind of been Kamzat just tears through everybody and becomes champion.
I do too because he's just
It's
fun
cool.
to watch, man. It's crazy.
I feel like Hamzat could be a good heel for Adesanya to fight against.
But the thing is, like when
I
you
think
when
he's
you,
a welterweight though.
I feel like he'd do
Really?
better at welterweight.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think when you see Cosmot talk outside of the ring, he's not really a heel. He's
No,
like kind of
he's
a
a good
quiet,
guy.
nerdy guy.
Yeah.
But so
He
the
just a smash.
right. So next big news. Well, next bit of news. Jan Blachowicz. I think it's Blachowicz actually, right?
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz still eyes John Jones. He promised me this fight. I think we've already talked about it. We would prefer to see him fight somebody else in division. We want to see Jones at heavyweight.
Yeah, for sure.
But
If Jones went up to heavyweight and got starched and was like, I'm going to come back down.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
No harm, no
which
foul.
I think is a possibility.
Yeah.
But Jan Blachowicz, I would like to see this fight. I'd prefer other fights.
Yeah.
But if he does come back down, I'll be rooting for Jan hard. If
Yeah.
Jan does end up knocking him out, it's the fucking craziest thing fucking ever.
Yeah.
He's
You
fucking,
know what I mean?
He's the man.
He's the man.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest fucking thing ever. And it is really the sociopath versus the nice guy.
Well, I don't know. The rope thing kind of.
I forgot.
That sort of.
You know, I
No.
said earlier that I was upset that you brought it up, and now you brought it up again.
I cannot think of like
Why you keep doing this?
fucking Jan rope curse.
I just want to look at
Blachowicz or
that
whatever.
beautiful smile.
Yeah, look.
He seems so happy.
He's the nice guy.
He's
that
a
he
nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. You know, he didn't have the guy commit suicide.
No.
He found the guy.
But
Allegedly.
yeah. How? It makes me think of like what the fuck is going on in Poland that like this is a thing that is
Right.
is
People
like
commit suicide so much.
Right.
and like but like why is there no police intervention about a rope hanging from a tree? Like a rope's still
Don't take
there.
that
Like
in.
how's who? No one cleans up a crime scene at this point. Like,
Yeah, can we do something
Yeah,
about this?
yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
There was actually something I did want to bring up on this. So I forgot to do it during the matchup. So Jan Blachowicz, the other thing we got to think about, and I think he should take one fight before it, is Anthony Rumble Johnson. Because Anthony Rumble Johnson's coming back, and Anthony Rumble Johnson on any day can beat anybody.
It depends on.
He doesn't even really have that much skill.
Where is he at on that, though? Is he close to coming back?
But he's in the USADA pool.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's in the pool. So we don't know how long it'll be till he actually comes
I
back.
haven't heard anything develop as far as like a fight for him.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that long ago we heard that he was in the USADA pool. So
I think they have to have 6 months in the USADA pool.
Yeah,
before you compete. So probably in the summer, I think.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see Rumble come back. I don't think Rumble should have quit in the first place.
Dude, but that fight against Cormier 2 is the worst game plan I've ever seen.
It's the worst. Like I quit.
Like,
I just quit.
Like, I mentally fold and start wrestling a wrestler and get tapped out.
I think he lost his drive at that point, and I'm hoping he's coming back because his drive is back. Because on any given night, I mean, he just touch you and you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep.
It just like depends on like where he's at mentally, because I think mentally he's a weird fighter. He folds kind of easily too.
It's like he doesn't enjoy it.
Like, I feel like it's money. It's a money thing. I'm going to be honest here. I think he's coming back for money. He's probably broke as fuck.
I think there's a good chance.
Those paydays aren't happening outside the UFC. Those paydays aren't happening. Like, I think he's went into the cannabis business. And, like, that seems like a pretty crowded market at this point. If you're coming in 2017 or whatever it was.
And there's still a lot of issues because it's illegal federally. Yeah, still a lot of issues.
The amount of tax money is
a lot of red tape to wade through.
Yeah.
But I feel like, if you're coming back for money and you're facing these guys who aren't for money, it's going to be a lot closer than your skills would suggest. You know what I mean? Yeah. If Jan's fighting because he wants to be a champion, you're fighting because you want a paycheck, fucking I don't give him as much chance as I would if he came back because he loved the sport.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, this one I had last. I don't know why I had it last, but Anthony responds to Johnny Walker's call out, albeit I'm guessing he says the shit or the fuck out of you.
Anthony Smith with a heel turn, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he can't really be saying like talking that shit.
He should beat Johnny Walker's ass though. Like,
I think he should, because Johnny Walker in his last fight was very lucky. He definitely has a very glass chin.
Yeah, but very I feel like Smith's just a way more like disciplined fighter than Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker is definitely way more creative, also hits hard, and Anthony Smith has been having issues. I do think it's a good fight to set up, though, because Anthony Smith is ranked so much higher, but he's coming off 2 losses.
He's on a bad
He should be fighting
somebody
backwards.
who's easier matchup,
Yeah, and if Johnny Walker beats him, it does say something about Johnny Walker.
Yeah, like, is there a scenario where I think Johnny Walker could put his lights out in some crazy-ass way?
Yeah. Yep.
Is there a way I see like him just overwhelming Johnny Walker's goofiness? And just taking him down and beating the shit out of him on the ground, and like just being conservative and smart and beating the shit out of him. Maybe he might decision Johnny Walker in a 3-round fight, but he might knock him out too. But it's just like the glass cannon aspect of Johnny Walker makes me think that like, dude, he could fucking put out anybody in the division if he lands first.
I don't see Anthony Smith. He's not the kind of guy who goes out because he hit him with one shot.
Anthony Smith is not. No, he actually takes way too much of a beating.
Yeah, right.
Like one fight, he wouldn't tap and lost his tooth, and corner
that's why
probably
it looks
so
bad. Like his last fights, he's lost looks so bad because like he's allowed himself to get beat up badly in those losses. Like you've had to fuck him up.
Yeah,
But Ratchet didn't fuck him up as much as like Glover did.
Yeah, Glover's was bad.
But like Ratchet just wrestled him.
It got out of hand though with Ratchet. I don't know. Like,
it did get out of hand with Ratchet on the feet though. Like that's why it was weird that
he took him down.
Yeah, that was weird.
But this is a good fight. I feel like this is a good setback for him to see where his career is at.
Yeah.
Mentally more so than his physical gifts.
Yeah.
He just needs to like be more dominant at the start of fights and like actually like be consistently dominant, because I feel like he did okay against Glover when he started.
What it is you want, like what it is that you specialize in, and go for that. Like I don't know, I feel like he lets people dictate fights.
I don't think he's actually dominant in any aspect.
He's a good striker, but he's not great.
I think he's a well-rounded fighter.
I feel like his best bet though is to try to like throw people on their back, beat them up, or get them up against the cage and beat them up. Like,
because he's got some good submissions too.
I could never tell though, like, with this division, like, is he a flash in the pan when it comes to like streaking one a good time in the division and like having good matchups? Like it's just like, it's hard to gauge. It's like, whoa, how good was he? Because I don't think he fell off even. I don't like. Part of me is like, oh, he's on the downturn of his career. I think he's as good as he ever was in this division, but like he's just like the matchups aren't as favorable to him. It's just like beating Ozdemir. Like all these guys have question marks about how good they are in my mind. It's just division.
Yeah.
They don't. It's like they all present certain skills in different fights. That's hard to gauge them as a overall fighter.
Anthony Smith didn't run into Jan Blachowicz on his way up.
Right. And like it's sort of how Costa was. How Costa didn't really fight anybody besides Romero and Hall.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have to fight Cannonier, Whitaker. Yeah. Kelvin, there was some question marks coming into this fight.
A lot of people were all about Costa, but Costa was way more, and they hate on Conor because they say Conor was got fed nobodies.
Yeah.
But honestly, Conor's come up to the title was way more impressive than Costa's.
Yeah. Right. Not having to fight Hermanson, he didn't fight anybody besides Romero, and that fight was close. Jacare?
No, the guy who beat GSP's last opponent before
Bisping.
No,
Hendricks.
before Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah, he beat dude.
He beat a Hendricks who'd started getting beat up by everybody.
Yeah, and small Hendricks, he looks small in that fight. Like he's a natural welterweight, and he's just fat now.
Yeah.
So and it's just you can never tell how somebody is until they actually have some more data on them.
Right.
And the data on Smith now in this division is a lot more inconclusive and a lot more middling than you'd suggest 4 fights ago.
Yeah.
No. So the next, we got a couple of different. To wrap it up, we got a couple different Khamzat Chimaev. So
rumors. There's rumors going around.
Yeah. Well, Dana White says that Khamzat Chimaev next fight will be a UFC headliner against a ranked opponent.
They said they offered him
Wonder
Boy, but Wonder Boy wants to fight Leon Edwards.
I think Wonder Boy is a bigger step up than he should probably fight.
I don't know. I think that's great.
Maybe. We don't know. But I think for Wonder Boy, it's a big risk when he can fight somebody like Leon Edwards and be right back in title contention.
Is it Leon Edwards?
And if he loses, it doesn't hurt him as bad as if he loses to
Khamzat.
Is it Leon Edwards? He hasn't fought in forever.
A year. So
it's is Leon Edwards going to fucking fight you, Wonder Boy? How about just
Well, I heard that Magny wants to fight Khamzat a lot.
Which we're going to get to.
That's good.
Which we're going to get to.
That's a good test,
but
cardio-wise.
I really like that he is going to be a headliner. I think he's earned a headliner spot on a fight night.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and look at that. So Neil Magny wants to be that main event.
That's fucking ballsy of Neil and Magny.
I think it's really ballsy.
Magny makes it not a main event to me. You know what I mean?
I know.
I get, it's close, but to me, if you're gonna Magny, I'm that's a co-headliner.
He's the B side though.
Yeah,
Chimaev's A side.
Yeah, I get Chimaev, but Chimaev, I get now that he is the A side to that, but I don't think he's that big to where it's all right, we're gonna put him in a headliner against Neil Magny, and that's gonna. I think you need a stronger B side to that, to make it a headliner. I mean, it's right there.
That's
it's right there,
right?
Yeah,
it's right there. It's not a bad one. I don't think it's
because I think he's quite a bit higher ranked. I think
Magny fought.
And Magny's on a good streak.
Yeah,
I get it.
They're only 2 apart. Yeah. But he just beat Robbie Lawler, Tony Martin. He's looked really good.
He shouldn't even be ranked at welterweight right now.
To me, to make it a headliner, I'd be
Magny shouldn't?
No, Chimaev.
To me, to make it a headliner, I think it's like Chiesa. I mean, it's Thompson.
Pettis, dude.
Yeah, Pettis, yeah. But I think Chiesa is where you want to start. If, we're going to do a headliner. Okay.
This is not
I think Chiesa is a good one.
This is not the official UFC rankings, too, so we don't really know.
But
right.
I get Magny's on a win streak. I think, I like it. I just think, that's more, in a perfect world, if I'm making a card, Neil Magny and Khamzat are a co-headliner.
Yeah, actually, Anthony Pettis is ahead of Stephen Thompson on this.
Well, he knocked him out.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. It's like I said, these numbers place.
Or Wonder Boy would be a great.
Wonder Boy's a great test too because he's hard to take down, dude. He's very tricky to take down, and he's striking, of course, is pretty great.
Pretty great, but he also couldn't really do anything to Tyrone Woodley.
Yeah, but Tyrone Woodley also hits like a truck too.
I know he hits like a truck, but he also didn't really lay hands on him at all. Yeah. And Tyrone Woodley wasn't really.
That was throwing. The best Tyrone was though.
Yeah, that's probably prime Woodley, if I had to guess. See, Magny's 10 on the UFC ranking, so it's a lot better in this ranking.
Yeah.
He like I said, there's not that many people separating.
UFC actually seems more reasonable. He's not even number 15 in welterweight.
Well, because he only has one win against welterweight against Rise McKee, dude.
Right.
Short notice, little Rise McKee, who came up from lightweight. So he shouldn't be ranked at welterweight. Should he get top ranking? Yeah. Should he be ranked though right now? No. Yeah. He has one win in the division against a can. He smashed the can.
I could see that Magny fight getting made though. That's probably.
I mean, look at this ranking.
You want a fight that would sell? And I doubt he would do it, though. But Nate Diaz. If he
Yeah.
fought Nate Diaz, it would sell.
Yeah, it'd be big.
Yeah. That's definitely a headliner.
Vicente
Yeah.
Luque is also. I'd watch that fight as well because they're
Yeah.
both ranked 10, and he's violent as fuck.
I actually think Luque would be a better headliner than Magny. I don't know why. I just do.
I just feel like, you know what it is about Magny is like he can't really offer any offensive threats to Chimaev in the way he offers cardio and like pace.
Yeah.
His pace is high, but
I think Magny.
It would to me if
Chimaev fucks Magny up.
I think he does too if he takes him to the ground. I think
Yeah.
it's a good test if he actually is able to dominate him standing up.
Yeah.
because Magny's hard.
He's got decent stand up.
And his groundwork's pretty good too.
His groundwork's pretty good, but God, Chimaev
What
seems so
Chimaev's
strong.
been able to do,
It's weird because it's like, I don't know. Part of me is like, dude, this hype around this guy is so fucking high. They're like, we're just like, because I've
He's
seen
gonna
Magny.
smash everyone.
I've seen Magny like beat the fuck out of dudes on the ground. I've seen
Yeah.
Magny piece
Right.
people up on the feet, and I've seen only a little bit of Chimaev do what he's gonna do to these people that he did. I mean, like he just did it impressively, but just like to say that he's gonna beat the fuck out of Magny on the ground, it's hard.
Right.
It's hard for me to commit to.
I hear you.
You know
but
what I
the-
mean?
It is.
but
It
the
is
thing
a legit as fuck test to fight.
Because like Magny
Yeah.
will not get tired or fold. That's
Yeah.
what I know. He ain't gonna fold. And he's not like so slow that he's gonna get like
Yeah,
started.
Based
in one
on the
punch.
strength,
But the-
though, I would think Chimaev would be able to ragdoll his ass.
the two ground games we saw, which were his first two fights of Khamzat, I mean, he was brutal. It wasn't like he got you to the ground and then slowly worked on you. He just beat the fuck out of him.
Right.
Just beat the fuck out of him. And I know Magny doesn't fold, but if he gets to the ground and he just starts taking all those fucking punches to the face like a barbarian's on top of you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that'd be a good win.
And his strength
That-
is such that like you just can't get up while he's punching you. Like
But that would show me like actually like legitimizing some hype instead of like
if Chimaev does that to Magny, I'm like, holy shit.
right. But like doing it to like the two guys he had, it's like
No,
Yeah.
there's,
it's not a big
like
deal.
I think we should say, and I think we're all in agreement. We are on the hype train, but we could see somebody like Neil Magny beating him because we
Just-
just don't know.
Yeah.
right because like what if Magny puts him in a bad
Do I
spot?
truly believe it? No, but I could see Neil Magny
Yeah.
beating him
Because
because
dude,
he's a
but
good fighter.
and he's big
Yeah.
too. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
He has a lot of leverage. How tall he is and his reach. He has a lot of leverage. And like, if you're not fighting guys like with that leverage, that's why his grappling is so good. His leverage is so great over those opponents. Magny could put him in some spots too. And like I said, I don't rate any of the guys he beat so far. Like Gerald Mearshart knocked out one punch. That's impressive to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But like the groundwork against guys who I don't know what the fuck their ground game is like. It's like, well.
right. If
Yeah.
if he would have beat the last guy by ground game, that would have actually been more impressive
Yeah.
because
I
that
agree.
guy has a ground game background.
Yeah, and I actually have some data on his ground game.
But
Yeah.
it's tough to be like, it's not as impressive that you exposed his weakness in fucking 1 second. Like,
Right.
Right. They're both impressive, but one tells me more about like how you match up to people
Yeah.
that I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
But to say the hype might be too big sometimes, then you go to the thing where Khamzat calls out Israel Adesanya for title fight, and it's like, dude, you got to settle down.
yeah, because like
but if he's really that good and he just really knows it,
take the
I mean,
fights
why-
against
you
top
know,
10
why,
though.
why would if you know you're that good and you're like, dude, I could beat that guy.
Yeah.
I can.
But like,
Yeah.
I
And he very well could go in there,
Yeah,
grab
who
him,
knows?
and finish it quickly. Who knows?
right.
But I think, come on, man, settle
Yeah.
down. Fight somebody in the top 10.
But like even like
Yeah.
someone like someone like Costa is a hard matchup for Hamza. Even though Costa shit the bed against Izzy, if Costa fights how he fought against everybody else, dude, like he's a big fucking
Well,
dude.
I think you start
But
matching
also,
him up
but
with
also who's
middleweights
tried to
and
take him down?
I mean, no, well, he's
Costa.
well, he's a black belt
start
in the ground too.
Comes out
you
up
know?
with middleweights
Right.
though, and it's a different. I don't.
Yeah, because
I
like
don't know what
Romero versus Khamzat, like, dude, what the fuck? Like that,
Yeah.
that's a hard fucking fight.
It's
dude.
easier to see like Khamzat at welterweight and be like, dude, he's right.
He's
in that
gonna
top five
fly through
maybe,
him.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or like-
I agree.
like 'cause it's like these guys. I don't know how much weight Khamzat cuts, and I don't think weight is the best indication about how you
Their
fare.
strength. and
Yeah,
shit.
but like, someone who like Paulo Costa, who's like 210 on Fight Night, dude. Can you ragdoll that guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Probably not.
Romero, can you beat the fuck out of him on the ground like you beat
Yeah.
everybody
No.
else? And like, are you gonna fucking starch him with a one punch? No.
Yeah. What I will say, because you said Costa is a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Is that a
Is it Junior Dos Santos black belt?
yeah?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Well, I know that.
they seem pretty similar.
Right. I just know like, or someone like Bobby Knuckles who His striking's pretty good. He's fucking hard to take down. He's fast. He's elusive. He's in and out of the pocket.
Who's Bobby Knuckles? Who is
Robbie
that?
Whittaker.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why I couldn't-
like that's a hard matchup too for Khamzat, dude.
All I could picture was Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I knew that, and I was like, that's somebody I know. Like,
But like, yeah, that's a hard
that's his
matchup for
nickname.
anybody in the middleweight division. His striking's pretty good. His movement's excellent. He's not gonna get fucking taken down by a easy like grab for the leg like all the cans he beat. You know, so you just like you beat a can by this, but could you beat Robert Whittaker, who has great movement, great takedown defense, anti-wrestler?
Yeah.
You know,
I think he should really. I agree with what we said earlier. He should really be going welterweight.
yeah.
But I'm not upset
And,
if he fights any of these people. To
No.
be
I
honest.
mean, the Magny fight's good.
It's just if you run into a big test at middleweight and you fail, that fucking hype about you is like makes you get on the welterweight with less, with like maybe it's hype still, but like it just looks you look beatable.
I'd like to see him try to just demolish the welterweight division.
Me too.
And then worry
Then
about
move up.
middleweight.
You're young as fuck, dude. Go grab the title if you're that good.
Because honestly, if he does demolish middleweight, it almost makes him go into welterweight. Like, yeah, well, of course.
Yeah.
You look like a weight bully. You look like a weight bully of like someone that's afraid to like.
But I
fight in their
understand him
division.
taking a couple low ranked middleweights for while he can.
Right, but like I
It's
said,
impressive.
if you cement yourself at welterweight, then go up, your achievements look a lot better.
Yeah.
They just and that's like when Dillashaw went down to fight fucking against Cejudo. It's like, dude, you look like a bully. You know, it doesn't look as cool as you think it looks. You know, like fucking like
like, hey, asshole.
yeah. That's like it's like
You got your
Izzy.
ass whipped,
If
so.
Izzy went down and fought like Usman, I'm like, dude, you don't look that cool. Or like even when Jones is calling out Izzy, you don't look as cool calling out the dude below you.
Yeah.
You don't look as like impressive. You look like you're trying to fight an easier fighter.
Yeah.
So like I feel like
Especially at the point at which he tried to do it. Like, it would make more sense now
Yeah.
that Adesanya just did something like that to Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
Now make that call
I don't
out.
think Jones wants that fight now though.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, just two risks. It's like if you get beat by a little ass, skinny ass Adesanya now, you look like a fucking pug.
Well,
you know?
hey, right tit, Adesanya.
Well, pulsing Adesanya versus pulsing Jones,
Yeah.
picogram Jones. That's what's funny. It's just like, dude, it's like there's no Costa. If Adesanya's on steroids, then Costa is juiced as fuck too. So let him have it, dude.
Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah, if they're both
I
juicy.
mean, I've always been of that opinion that the only way to create the even playing field is to allow them.
I just really don't care that much.
Yeah. Well, because like you just
What's wrong with using if I use this scientific technique while I train, my body will be peak. What? Like, why is that?
My only argument is that everybody. I don't like that some people, because there are some people I think aren't.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I
sure.
don't like having to force them to do it.
Right,
But
and I don't like the idea
though,
of the
you
people
know.
with roids. But if it's out there, like, hey man, I'm taking them.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, well, he knew, so go on in there if that's
And
what you want to
and
do.
Even
If you wanna be
even
that
then too,
guy.
I've seen people get beat on roids. Like it's not the be all end all like
Yeah.
of how
Vitor Belfort, Anderson Silva,
Yeah.
right.
like juice to the
Anderson
gills.
might have been juiced too, though. But I think I legit don't think Anderson was on steroids his whole career. I think he was doing it to come back for
I
that
agree.
Diaz fight.
I think he was doing it to recover from
To recover
fucking
from
getting
a
his leg
catastrophic
fucking broke.
industry or injury.
And like
Industry.
Industry.
I don't feel like it's like if you piss hot, it's like what the fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've been on roids or not, but you're kind of dumb.
At this point, you're almost like, who hasn't?
Right.
Yeah.
I also don't buy tainted supplements ever. I never buy. Someone's like, it was a tainted supplement.
I think that legit happens though.
I think it does, but like, dude, not as often as people
there
say.
is
tainted supplements.
they don't clean out their vats when they're mixing all their shit.
Yeah.
I think that's for sure.
Yeah, you don't think China's cutting costs when
Yeah.
they're making this stuff? They're cutting
Yeah.
costs.
Yeah.
Communists.
I feel like the worst shit is when people get popped for weed. Like, dude, who gives
Well,
a
I
fuck?
don't care. Yeah.
I don't
Leave
care
them
either. Like, now, jiu-jitsu artists will tell you that
They're high as fuck,
They-
rolling.
Well, and they'll say that it helps them.
perform, yeah.
They'll say like, "Oh, dude, it definitely helps me."
But that's
I don't
one that's
care.
like
I
good.
don't care.
Like if that
It
helps,
doesn't make you stronger.
Yeah. It's like, okay, my weed helps me. Did your cup of coffee help you get up in the fucking morning? Okay, we're even. Like,
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, well, let's move on. Unfortunately, to the next card, and it is
it's gonna be great. Let's
UFC
go.
Fight Night Holly Holm versus Irene Aldana.
Good night, fellas.
So,
Well, Carlos Condit versus Court McGee. That's kind of cool.
I'm excited to see how Carlos Condit looks. 'cause
And I
he's
mean,
so
Court
washed.
McGee.
So,
I used to really like.
but for
him.
the main event, obviously, since we just did what we just did, we don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
right? We don't care.
whatever.
Holly Holm, probably rack up another win, and
Another
then lose to somebody.
I'm out of here.
And then lose to somebody
it's
that's
the same fight every time.
And then the two fights I am excited for is actually I like the Durandamine Pena fight, and I think that should have been the headliner.
Is that 135?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should have been the headliner. I mean, if we look at that,
it's a better. I don't know why that's.
You could do it if for the home fight to make it fun though. If you drink, you could do a drinking game that every time if Holly Holm ishes, if she ishes, you take a shot and then you'll be dead.
Why
circle.
can't I figure out where they're
circle.
I don't understand how someone's boxing is not progress all and they're supposed to be a boxer.
She's the same. I mean, literally, she has the same fight every time. Whether she wins or loses, it's still the same fight.
She doesn't adjust anything. Like she'll throw the same combo regardless of what you're doing.
She's a sweetie, but goddamn.
But here's the thing: we do hate on her a lot, but honestly,
I like her.
If she ended up fucking knocking out the champion randomly, we wouldn't be amazed.
I'd be happy if she won the title. Mostly I'm like, why are you just still doing the same shit? Like, evolve your game.
Well,
You've not changed since you came in.
Yeah.
Like,
Jackson's gym is bad now, dude.
It's bad.
They have no good fighters anymore.
Get the fuck out of there. They seem to have major
Jones
internal problems.
Jones is the only person in their gym that's even successful.
Jackson doesn't seem like a genius anymore.
No.
Like, for a while, it seemed like a genius.
Like 10 years ago, that was the gym.
How long has it been since Court McGee has fought?
It's
probably been a long-ass time.
I would imagine it's been a long-ass time.
I feel
it's been
like
a
he
long
lost
time
his
for
last
Condit, right?
Condit got choked out by Michael Chiesa.
Yeah.
Or submitted.
I really loved Court McGee's story when he was on Ultimate Fighter.
Damn, 2 in a row.
Well, he fought in 2019.
Okay. Well, it's been
Twice.
It's been a year.
Damn,
though.
he's been. Condit's lost like 5 in a row, I think, or 4 in a row. He's on a skid too, so it's pretty.
And
fucking,
honestly, it might be a fun fight. Maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know really what they're gonna look like because we haven't been paying attention.
But yeah,
I know Condit's lost 4 in a row. I think he hasn't won since maybe 5 in a row.
Oh my gosh. But those are not.
Wow.
terrible.
And he also hasn't fought since 2018.
Those are all really good guys. I mean, Lawler.
Chiesa, Olivier, Magny, Maya, Lawler.
I thought he won.
Lawler,
I thought he won that fight against Lawler. Actually, watching that fight, I thought he's got.
He's fought. Those are legit opponents.
And getting submitted by Damian Maya's not that bad, dude.
No,
It's
that
fucking
just is what
Damian
it
Maia.
is. Well, because also Condit was supposed to be a submission guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Condit's he was like more of a scrappy. Like his guard was really active. Like he wasn't like the best jiu-jitsu guy, but he'd fight off his back. You know what I mean? With like a bunch of activity in his guard, elbows and shit, and triangles.
What the fuck is this fight?
Dude, why is that?
Castro. It's not a bad fight. I mean, it's not a great card, man. What's the next card after that?
Hold on 1 second.
Because the next pay-per-view is Gaethje.
Yeah.
But look, how is this not the headliner? It's the number 1 versus the number 4.
And you got number 2 versus number 6.
I mean, it's
Holmes
the
a
same
bigger
thing,
name.
But yeah, Holmes just the bigger name. So,
Man.
but how isn't it at least the co-main just because it's women? And you're like,
Because they went how Brandon feels about women fights.
They were like, we can't have 2 women.
It's an obvious way to
out.
feel about women's MMA. You're a masochist if you actually take enjoyment of all of the women's MMA fights. I mean, like they're not. Some are good. Most aren't that good.
But you're lying to yourself if you're like, it excites me more than anything the men do.
Imagine just like turning off the men fights. You only fight.
There's
You just
probably
walk
some-
away from the TV. You turn it off.
fucking
There's
gay,
probably
dude.
chicks out there that only watch the women though. Like, I can imagine some chicks that only watch the women.
Turn on the
fight.
main event. He's butt fucking him in the ring.
How's that not gay?
I'm going back to the women.
But
I'd rather watch 2 women butt hub each other.
But I think this is a situation where we might have 2 women fights that'll be at least semi-entertaining.
Well, there's
No, I don't. I right now Donna. It's like I don't know who. The
there's
fuck
big
that is,
indications after this. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like,
who's gonna lose to Nunes eventually at some point?
but like, if Helen wins, she's getting a title shot, and that makes me sad.
Well, and honestly, I think it's been a long time since Juliana Pena has fought, and
She looked bad in her last performance.
Did she?
Yeah, she gassed out in like the 3rd round.
Yeah,
but she
Durandamine should be.
I'm excited to see her come back, and Durandamine is going to put on a fun striking fight. you would
If she
imagine.
can't keep the takedowns from happening.
Yeah, because that is really where Pena's at, taking her down.
But like, the Rami has no takedown defense, and it might be boring if.
Has
it's-
Holly Holm fought Nunes for the title?
She got head kicked. Remember?
That's
Yeah.
right.
In December,
Yeah.
Jones card, I think.
Yeah.
Was that 145 though, or
2 something.
2 something.
No, I'm saying weight. Cause
Oh, yeah,
Nunes is
145.
both.
I think it was 135.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Well,
145.
because Holly
It
fought
don't matter.
Durandame for the 145 title and
And
lost.
Durandame relinquished it.
Relinquished it.
That's actually a good. That's actually a pretty decent
That's the
fight
next card.
dude.
Yeah, this is the
dude.
next card.
Fucking Thomas Almeida's back, dude.
Yeah.
What do you- he hasn't been there forever.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought in like 2 years.
But honestly, this turns into a decent card. Honestly, I always enjoy watching Brennan Rothwell fight. I don't think he's ever going to be anything, but he's a gamer. You know, he's going to go out there and
Moraes
fight.
is an exciting fight.
Edison Barbosa now against this guy. Okay, good.
Main event's pretty cool.
This is an okay card, and the main event is good. I mean, it speaks a lot to that weight division,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there might be some like fun ass like Yusuf Zalal. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know who Sung Woo Choi is, but like it's random ass smaller weight random dudes.
But these guys have all been putting on great fights. That's the
what I
thing
mean,
with
yeah.
watching these cards now.
Gaethje
Like they've been
Khabib's
putting on
the
great
next
fights.
week.
No, there's one more.
What? Fuck.
Tom Aspinall's pretty good.
I was really
heavyweight.
hoping for Gaethje Khabib after these two boring as.
No, sadly, but this one isn't that boring.
That's all right.
It's not great. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I've seen worse, but I've seen better.
Yeah, the next, but we
Ortega
get
over screen.
we get
that's
Ortega
cool,
versus
though.
Korean Zombie.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And that's actually a good ass card, dude.
Yeah.
Krylov versus Uzumir.
Andrade, I mean.
Chukagin, yeah, good down.
That's good.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I had to get some ice.
Andrade is going up to 125 actually. So Cyril Gaines awesome.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent
Alright,
card.
That's fine.
This will be fun to watch. At a minimum, the top 3 fights are like, okay,
Yeah,
man, I'm in
yeah,
for those.
Yeah, yeah.
And dude, Cyril Gaines is like probably the best heavyweight prospect in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's a
6-0.
yeah, and he's a kickboxer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's an idol
yeah.
kickboxer.
But well, you know, what's crazy is all around, this card might actually be better than the Khabib card. I just want to
The
see.
No
card.
way.
No.
That card is stacked as fuck.
Yeah, there's a really
it?
good co-main
Dude,
on that.
look at
Yeah.
that, bro.
Oh, I
Look
at
forgot about Whitaker
And
Cannonier.
Volkov versus Walt Harris.
Yeah,
Rafael
Dos
Dos Anjos.
Come on, Dos Anjos. Come on.
Dude,
Come
Ankolov
on.
versus Kudalova.
Yeah, that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That
Okay. This is
fucking
gonna be a pretty good card. But
That's
the
stacked.
Dos Anjos, I really don't care about, to be honest with you.
I
Yeah,
like Dos Anjos. He's easy to root for, I think.
It's just his last few fights, though. He's been getting like out.
He gets killers though.
3 rounds.
He fights anybody,
Yeah.
bro. Like he don't take easy fights
But
though.
that's
But he also hasn't even looked impressive.
I'm
in those
honestly
fights.
surprised they made this card so good, just because like that was gonna sell Khabib, Gaethje, like
Too bad this-
whatever.
this card's at
ultimately.
2 p.m.
I didn't even really drink last night. I had like 2 drinks, and for some reason I remember looking at this last night like, oh, now I'm looking at it again. I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty
I mean,
good.
you have the middleweight number one contender fight.
Yeah.
You have a pretty decent Volkov Harris fight. That's gonna be a banger stand up fight. You see how Dos Anjos looks at 155 again
Yeah.
against
that
Prospect.
main event's a AAA though.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
a
I mean?
fucking
like,
that's a they could fill this with.
the main event. They can put any fight on here.
Yeah.
I'm buying it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And then you have a fucking bad blood build up fight against Kudalova versus Ankolov.
Yeah.
This could be the
Dude.
this could be the headliner for the Holly Holm one, and I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yes!
The rest of the fight card could be the same as the Holly Holm fight, and this would be it. And I'd
They
be like,
could
I can't wait.
Yeah.
They could put this in Invicta, and I'd be like, all right,
Right.
Tad
Invicta.
Robert,
Yeah,
what-
for Brandon, it could be all women's fight besides this, and he doesn't care.
go down to Struve versus Tai Tuivasa.
I forgot about that. That's going to be on the undercard.
Good. Sam Alvey's fighting there.
Yeah.
Dude, another Nurmagomedov.
Another nigga. Come on, nigga.
Who is Jacob Malkoun with 3-0? Who is that guy? How's he fighting on the biggest card of the year almost?
Where's it at? I'm
Jacob-
sorry. I'm
Jacob-
just still laughing.
Jacob Malkoun. Who is that who's 3-0?
Sure.
With no
Yeah,
no
like,
face.
Click on that guy. What weight class is that even? Because that's insane to me that a 3-0 fighter's in UFC. 185? Like who?
Yeah, who the fuck are
You
you?
must have had some really impressive wins, dude.
What?
Nope, not even in the UFC.
That's insane. You get 3-0.
But he is on the
minimum.
undercard. They had to fill the undercard.
I mean, it's just like insane to
Yeah, we're
see
getting those now.
a 3-0 nobody middleweight. Like he literally could be fighting in any random promotion. Now he's fighting in the biggest card of the year. That's nuts to me. Like it's just like that's a crazy. It's a crazy reward.
so this is actually going to headline the undercard.
That's pretty cool.
Oh,
actually.
is it? That's
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's
No, that
not.
should be the opener of the main.
Yeah, that's the opener
No,
of
they
the main
usually
card.
have 5 fights.
No,
right?
it's a 6-fight main card now.
2,
They
3,
announced it.
Oh, is it? Okay, nice.
And it starts at 2 p.m., guys.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Nope.
Oh, I'm not even buying that shit.
Why?
Because I won't. I think I just won't do that. That's fucking terrible.
I'm gonna have to buy it.
Dude.
I don't know.
I don't understand
dude.
what you're talking about.
I'm not watching that. I'm not watching at 2:00 in the afternoon.
That's when that whole event starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 5:00 in the afternoon.
I'm gonna. There's a
I
good
don't know,
chance.
dude. I'm not missing those fights.
I'm not missing them, man. And I'm not.
What's your beef with that? I mean, I understand
I
being annoyed
don't-
by it, but
especially-
not the
I've
especially
never
with you-
once watched the
Especially
card,
with you,
but-
you're gonna go on Facebook for sure, and you're gonna end up finding out who won before you watch
It's
it.
gonna happen.
Kyle, I'm not trying to talk
that
you into
sucks.
watching it, but
I'm streaming it then. I'm not paying for that.
So, Brad, you want to watch these fights together?
I'll watch this fight together.
Because actually,
We should actually watch them. Yeah.
and I might even just do it over here, put it on both
They're
these
gonna make
TVs.
the biggest card of the year start at 2:00 in the fucking
I know,
afternoon.
but
It's
the
disgusting.
the problem too is, well, for me, it's not a problem actually. It makes it easier to just watch the fights with you guys if you want to, because Brian, the guy I normally watch the fights with, is in a wedding, so
so
he
the backup's
can't watch.
cool. Okay.
I told him, dude, don't go.
You don't.
Yeah.
Go.
He was like, well, I have to. I'm like, I'm a groomsman. I'm like, yeah, you're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if someone.
That's why you can't. Well, I mean, he'd probably be busy at 10:00 anyway. But like, that's why I can't do that on Saturday.
I don't know. I don't like that you watch fights with other guys. Anyways, I think you should only watch fights with us. Cheating on us.
This is who I've watched fights with forever.
I don't know.
Maybe you
sure
guys,
it's at
maybe you
2:00?
guys should join us.
Because they.
I feel like watching them fights together, though, we're gonna get a lot of the content that we put on the next day out with each other. I mean, it's just like, do we keep it fresh by not watching them
Yeah.
together, or do we come? To,
Right.
you know.
If we watch it together,
Right.
we talk about everything. Already.
Well, we'll try out this next one. And
Well,
then
yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
fine. But actually, I'm pretty sure it's at 2. I don't know if it said.
No, it is. It's a 2.
Well, because I remember one that they had in Abu Dhabi where they on the like poster it said 2.
No, Poirier
And I was
versus
like-
Khabib was at 2.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is definitely at 2. Brian talked about it last night.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
You
It's
know,
not great.
what
I
it-
am off Saturdays, so
What
It
it
is
is
what it
is that Khabib, his fan base is like all fucking Muslim and you know from that
Yeah.
time zone.
it's the right card to do it.
Yeah, and like
Yeah, but that's the second Khabib card in a row that they've done that. Like,
yeah, that's
It
kind of
sucks.
fucked. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't want to see Khabib fight at 6 p.m. or whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like it's just like,
In some ways, I don't want to see him fight at all. But
and I like
I just don't buy. If you're not gonna cater to the audience, I'm not paying for it.
yeah,
like,
and the U.S. has
figure
to
it
be
out.
the biggest audience.
Yeah.
So 2.
I don't know.
but
There's,
everybody
there's a lot of
if I
Muslims.
watch it,
there's
I'm
a lot
not
of fucking
paying
people.
for it.
in
and
this.
most people are off on Saturdays. So
You know, I like too. There's like how late it is after UFC ends, and I like play around online and read about it for a little bit, and I fall asleep. I like
Yeah.
that custom of like that
Yeah,
after
I
the
get to
fights.
watch the.
but you might actually be able to fall asleep earlier since it's happening earlier.
I just
Dude,
won't know
I
what
don't
to
wanna
do
fall
with
asleep earlier.
myself after the main event. I'm like, it's 6:00. Like, what am I gonna?
What am I going to do with the rest of my
the
life?
rest of the night?
But then I feel kind of spent.
Do I go out Saturday?
Wait, what
It's
do
all
I, what do I
it's like
do?
daytime.
Yeah. Sun's still out.
I'm not even like. I don't
Maybe
even know
we
how
should
to
have a
get-
barbecue.
How do I even get into like the mood? Like it's not. There's
Hall
sun
versus Silva.
shining through my windows.
That's Halloween.
Oh.
That's crazy. Greg Hardy
It's
versus
on
Maurice
Halloween
Green.
too. Oh, I'm gonna be at a party probably. Maybe. I
That's a
don't know.
pretty decent card.
Yeah, it's really not bad.
Maurice Green versus Greg Hardy.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of, after Maurice Green's last performance, kind of expect Greg Hardy to win. Unfortunately,
Yeah, the crochet boss didn't look that great in that fight.
crochet boss.
I just think the
That name
UFC
is
should
nuts.
weigh that decision heavy. Like, all right, we're gonna lose the entire American audience pay-per-view.
I think
Because
they're
like
losing
Europe gets
you.
that shit for free. It's on. It's just on ESPN in
Yeah.
Europe. So when you do that shit at 2:00 over there, give it to us for free in the United States. Like
Yeah.
just eat it. Like
Drew Dober versus Diego Ferreira, dude.
On this fucking Thiago Santos Glover Teixeira card.
That's a fucking good man.
Andre Arlovsky's on that card.
versus Tanner Bozer, that fucking guy who.
The bulldozer.
you know,
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's,
Claudia Gadelia versus Jean Yan.
that's the kind of jump we were hoping for Drew Dober too, right?
Yeah, because Vieira just fucking beat the shit out of Pettis and submitted him.
Yeah.
That's a good win, you know.
I just think that should be the general rule though. If you own ESPN Plus, if you have ESPN Plus,
Yeah.
and they're
He's
gonna
fired.
do it at 2
I should not told him. I should not told him
You
until the
should
day
have
of the
told
fight.
him.
I would have missed it. I'd have been like, guys, what's going on?
Like, where's the fight? I don't understand.
I would never expect them to do that. Like for that fight.
He's so upset.
Jesus, dude. I understand the pure.
Brandon's looking at me like he is so happy with himself that Kyle's this upset
I'm
about
like
it.
fucking an energy vampire. I'm feeding off Kyle's fucking energy here.
He's just looking at me with a giant smile on his face.
I hate it. Dude.
I know how mad Kyle was about it. 'Cause I knew your stance on it before that. So like I knew you get riled up about it, so I was like waiting for it.
Kyle's like, I don't get up till 1.
Yeah.
On a Saturday.
This is bullshit.
When do I sleep?
I'll be up till 3 or 4 in the morning playing PlayStation.
UFC 4.
Kyle, I don't think you miss. You have to watch it though.
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay
I'm not
for
paying
it. I'll pay for it. We'll come over
Why don't
here.
we all throw in on it? Fuck it, you
Yeah.
don't pay for all that shit.
Yeah, I'll throw in.
Flip you $20 for that shit.
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. Dude, sometimes it's nice. In the middle of the day watching UFC.
You know what we could do?
Live.
We couldn't live it.
Just
'cause
immediately do the podcast though?
Just do like we could put it up as a bonus. You know what I'm saying? But be on the mics while we're watching it.
Yeah.
I think it's like just audio.
Yeah, just audio, just like Fight Companions, pretty much.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
And we can immediately just lead into doing the podcast about what we just watched.
Mhm.
I mean, they don't.
I think that's a decent idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Why don't you
I
set
hate
the
it, but like 2:00 on a Saturday, if we come over here and watch it, like
Yeah.
That'd be kinda
wouldn't
cool.
Be too bad.
But
Yeah.
like, I mean, why don't you set the camera so it doesn't show the video? Could you do that?
Could probably blur it.
Yeah. Or set the camera over there
Yeah.
and just face
Yeah,
it towards
just
this way.
angle this way, or
Yeah.
Then we
It
wouldn't see your
wouldn't
pretty
be enough
mug.
space over here, but I could actually put a blur on the TV.
Could you?
Yeah, but the volume, the noise.
Is it-
I don't. Do you think the
The
sound?
volume is no. It's probably not copyrighted.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if that'd be an issue or not. I don't think.
We have enough time to look into how that works.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to figure out whether or not what's legally allowed to be broadcasted in a different
Yeah.
reproduction or whatever.
I
But I
ain't
mean,
paying for it though. I'm pissed, dude. That's like highly
He's so
upsetting.
mad. Well,
I hate that.
what we might be able to do is get it so that the audio only plays through the headphones.
I mean, we gotta ask young Jamie.
I hated when they did it at 9. I didn't like that. The
PM?
9, yeah, when they started, they
9
were just
PM?
like, we're gonna start at 9 now.
I actually don't like 8 and 9 p.m. I don't because we had some at 8, some at 9. I don't like either.
You mean
of
like the
those.
fight nights?
Yeah.
The fight nights.
I don't know why some are at 9 and some are 8. Like I don't understand why this.
Some at
Like, what the fuck?
7:30.
But-
We
but-
just pick a time. Can 10 just be it?
But the 10 though is too late for some fight nights. It's like the main card fucking drags, dude, and it's like 1 a.m. and the main event comes on, and I don't care enough to anyways.
Yeah.
It's like fucking some random
It don't
fight.
seem like they've done that in a long time though. This has been like 8:30.
I don't mind 8 for fight nights because I feel like I don't give
Yeah,
a
those
fuck
are
about
cool.
like if I could watch the main event at 10:30, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to spend my whole night waiting for the main event to come on.
I just felt like when they moved to 9 on Saturdays, like it became a pain in the ass sometimes to get to the beginning of the card. Like that last hour, a lot of times on Saturday night was like, okay, 10, I can make 10, like not a problem.
I'll tell you what we should actually talk about briefly too, because we might end up watching more of the fights. Is apparently Bellator's going to move to Thursdays.
That's kind of
That's cool.
I mean, more.
That'd make me more prone to watch them.
Yeah.
more MMA
But-
throughout the week.
But then are we going to have to pay for them? I feel like Bellator should be $20.
Yeah.
They don't really have pay-per-views.
I think
No?
pay-per-views should
They're all
be
free.
like
Are they all free?
They've had one pay-per-view, I think.
Nice.
pay-per-views should just be like they
That's
should
how much
be
you don't- that's
graded.
how much
That's
you
how
don't
much I don't know about Bellator.
Yeah.
They should be graded sometimes. Though, like not every pay-per-view deserves $65.
Even
like,
UFC.
Why, yeah, even just some of your UFC cards. Like, why can't you do this one for $40? Like,
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's been
Especially
some.
like some stinkers. Like I remember, was it Nunes versus like fucking, that last main event, dude.
Yeah,
we
but you're
paid
not charging people less for a Nunez fight.
yeah.
You're just not.
it's not a compelling fight.
You think, but you might get
Yeah.
more buys that way. Though, like at 40, okay.
Honestly, you might triple your buys.
yeah.
Yeah, and it might make out money-wise better
Yeah.
than if you were to keep it at 60.
I really think they should think about doing some package thing where, like, okay, you're an ESPN Plus subscriber. You want to buy like a package of all the fights. Give us
think they do.
$300 for the year.
Don't they do that?
No,
I don't think so,
not for
no.
pay-per-views.
I know that, dude. How long did they even?
Like, I'd give you $300 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be great.
How long did they even keep the pay-per-view model? Because I know that WWE's moved completely away from that. It's straight on their network.
Yeah.
You can watch all the pay-per-views on there. If you charge for the network, like I don't know why.
I think they'll be stuck on it at least till the ESPN contract.
But,
so.
well, the ESPN thing makes me think that it could get to a point where it's not pay-per-view anymore.
Well, like,
the fact
if
that
you-
they have that.
If you're a Fight Pass subscriber, you should have a discounted pay-per-view. For
yeah,
sure.
that
Yeah.
at the very least, like, okay, you have
Half off.
Yeah,
Fuck
Well, I don't think they could do it with Fight Pass because they have to make this money for ESPN. So if you buy a certain subscription to ESPN, you know what I
you
mean?
get a discount.
You
well,
get
it
a
is
discount
now
on the
like
fights.
the ESPN Plus costs is $6 or whatever. the pay-per-views went from 65 to 60. They did knock that
because
price
of that.
off.
So
Yeah.
it evens out to being a $65.
Yeah, it does. It does make it slightly cheaper, but
So-
it'd be better with even a better deal.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like, give me a $50 flat rate since I'm a subscriber.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just got to think like some of these fight cards are just like dismal. Like where I watch them, but like it's just I'm not.
Well,
fucking-
but it sucks. It's like the only way you can watch it is to have ESPN Plus. But like, why not make it okay? If you have ESPN Plus, you get them for $50. You don't have to have ESPN Plus. We'll mark it up to $70,
Right.
like $80, whatever.
So yeah,
like,
make
you make more money off people. The casuals who are like, I like these Connor fights. They'll pay $80 if it's that one fight that they were gonna watch anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why not do that? I mean, it's contractual shit, and the ESPN wants it
there's
only
probably-
on their platform. But
There's probably bigger brains behind this than us.
Yeah.
That figure out how they can make the most money
It's
out of
probably bigger brains than us on most subjects.
it. Yeah.
well, that's what I thought growing up as a kid. I was like, there's somebody out there handling that shit. Turns out,
No.
not a lot of.
We've also we've seen the UFC website, so come on.
Yeah. It's just so many people fucking giving the responsibility else to somebody else. Like, oh, someone else is fucking handling this somewhere.
Yeah.
And nobody's handling it. It just is like,
Right. But all right, man. I think we should go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Another good episode. Can't wait to talk to you guys.
Just bangers.
Probably.
dude.
Oh man, do we skip next week?
I don't
we
know.
might have to skip next week.
We may
though.
skip next week just because of that card. We may skip it. We'll see, but
I ain't doing it.
I would anticipate a skip.
You can
So-
do it by yourself.
Just talk by yourself.
You guys are dicks.
You guys, you're gonna
Lonely rambling of Hammer
Yeah.
talking
I'll end up
about
talking about random shit.
talking about Carlos Condit versus fucking Court McGee.
Yeah. You know that guy did heroin, right?
That's it.
And we're done.
It's just sad.
All right, MMA fools, we're out.
Don't do heroin.
I agree. I feel like that was a brief one versus some of the.
I don't know.
It's still 2 hours. Yeah. We can't get.
but there's probably about there's some time I'm gonna cut off.
But there's no way to. There's no